Hello and welcome to the Inbetween podcast. I'm your usual host, Joe Scorn, and I'm joined here by my usual co-host, Tony Tonted. How are you, Tony?
Bonjour, it's been a while.
Has
Hasn't
it?
been 2
It's been
weeks,
2 weeks.
but
It's the same
I
amount of
like
time
to think
every
it's
two
been a while.
weeks. Yeah, me and Tony have creative differences, so we don't talk outside of the podcast. It's just a power struggle between the two of us, two egos clashing.
Yeah, it's getting worse and worse as the
Yeah.
years gone on. So
Anyway, there's a lot of
I'm in the
more.
wrong place. But...
Last week, I think the podcast was like 3 hours or something.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try and make this one shorter. But there's tons of fucking news again, so I'm going to try. There's a couple of trailers I want to talk about from the trailer section. I'm going to try and go through quick news as quickly as possible while still giving you the information, and then we'll slow down a bit as I want to talk about other stuff. But basically, Gamescom, which I cut out of last week because there was too much news. Nintendo 35 Years of Mario, Ubisoft Prince of Persia remake, and other announcements. We've got new Nvidia cards, we've got new AMD cards, Zen 3, Big Navi, everything's happening. So if any of that interests you, stick around and listen to that. Or if you don't want to listen to me, skip the intro. Put a timestamp to skip the intro, Tony, so people can skip me explaining what's going to be on the show.
Is Big Navi related to Big Chungus, though?
I would hope so. If they did like a crossover, Big Navi, Big Chungus graphics card skin, that would be sick.
Oh! Yeah, oh god, I'm in.
Big Chungus. Okay, let's go straight into the trailers. This first trailer is Diabotical. So this game was actually kickstarted, and basically it's for enthusiasts of people who really wanted another Quake-style arena fighter kind of game, where it's very much about precise aim, very quick fragging, very quick kills with like a bunch of these alien guns like the rocket launcher, the laser gun, stuff like that. And it's just, instead of being like a paid game, they've just released it free to play on the Epic Store. That's how they're doing it. So I'm not sure if the Kickstarter backers get maybe some cosmetics. I have played a bit of this, so I can talk about it. It's very much like very quick, fast-paced. You can like jump and keep your jumping momentum. You can rocket jump. I personally doing some rocket jumps. There was a time trial mode where you can go around maps, which looked pretty fun, but I was trying to set it up in single player and I couldn't get it to work. So I'm not sure if you can do the time trials in single player. I couldn't figure it out. I got a Twitch drop for this game. I was watching Forsen, and I now have a Forsen E profile picture because it linked like his account. But there's tons of really cool inbuilt stuff. Like there's an inbuilt aim trainer. You can import your mouse settings from other games, which is really cool as well.
Oh, that's really cool.
But yeah,
this is really fun though.
Yeah. Like I played a bunch of the training, and then I went onto the online games and got my ass kicked. So that's pretty much what I expected. Like.
Yeah.
You're either going to run into like people who've never played this sort of game, or they're going to be like hardcore Quake players for like the past 20 years. I feel like that's the demographic.
I like when someone dies, like they kind of explode with a little skull, though. That's quite cool.
Yeah, the only thing I was like kind of about was like I didn't really like the cartoony art style of the robots. Like I thought gibbing was like a big thing in like Quake. When you blew up someone, like their corpse would explode everywhere, and that was really cool. But now we just have robots. So
yeah, normally if you go for robots, it means you can get away with like more.
It makes it a lot more like lower ratings, and probably means you can send over to Asia because you won't have any like skulls and guts and stuff like that.
I don't have a problem with robots. Yep. I think they're kind of cool.
But we've actually had quite a few of like these old schoolish kind of Quake games coming out, because we've got Graven just came out. We just got a trailer. Well, we just got a trailer for Graven, which is a spiritual successor to Hexen, which, if you don't know, is 3D Realms, the original Duke Nukem guys. It was like Hexen was like kind of like Doom, but you had like spells instead.
Yeah.
If you don't know what Hexen is. But I love this art style.
Tell Biscuit play it sometimes, right?
I don't know.
Like in the background, the mailboxes sometimes. I swear I've seen them play.
I really like this art style. The the old schoolish, almost PS1 kind of graphics, and I know you're not a huge fan of this like kind of art style.
I'm okay with this one though. I quite
Hmm.
like this one. I looked at this earlier, before the podcast, and I actually quite like the look of this.
Right, because I
I'm not
think this
feeling the
stuff's pretty
PS1,
cool.
like the really PS1y stuff, but
Because I'm a big fan of Gloomwood, which we'll talk about
mm,
in a minute as well, and that has like a very like strong PS1 kind of graphic style. I don't
yeah,
know
I'm
how
not.
else to describe like the graphic style of like the era of games from the PlayStation 1, like
Uh, Blobby.
Blobby, Mr. Blobby style. It's got the Mr.
Yeah,
Blobby art style,
yeah.
and yeah, so we do
I
have
don't know.
some.
It's like high, like low polygon, like really pointy, right? It's like kind of
Mm,
like the characteristic there.
we got a cinematic, and then we've also got some gameplay. So that's pretty cool. Just skip through that. I did watch this, so I'll just skim through it and give you like the highlights, because there's not enough time to go through the whole thing. You kind of come into I think you get banished. You're like a mage, and you get like banished for some reason, and you come to like this area that's being
Yeah.
taken over by the plague, and then you're trying to like help the village fight off the plague, sort of thing. It
Wait,
shows you. Sorry.
you're like a priest as well,
Yeah, I
right?
think you're like a priest, like a
And then
mage
like
priest or
magic's
something.
banned or something. I don't. It's like a cult. I don't know. I don't really understand.
But you can see here, like a lot of the environment's destructible, so you can like destroy crates, and you can find lots of secrets that way. You can fully explore like the environments, and then you'll go around like. I think they were trying to do it in a system where you could go off and do whatever you wanted. It wasn't 100% linear, but then they were like, we still wanted people to be able to figure out what was going on, so we kind of pushed people in directions, but we didn't
Right.
give them like a linear path that they had to follow, sort of thing.
So it's more like the Dark Souls map, and like there's like an end point, but like you can get there in any sort of way you can find it.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not 100%. I don't know Dark Souls, so.
Okay. There's more backtracking in Dark Souls than what I would assume this
Hmm.
would have, but like I think it's like similar idea in a way. Like paths that kind of lead back onto like main paths and things, and there's
So
like
you can talk to
finding.
villagers, and they'll give you like quests, which then get you gold, and then you can spend that on like health potions and that sort of stuff. And it seems like the core gameplay loop is you go out and you fight like these infested people and these like monsters and stuff, and you're trying to cleanse them, and you're basically trying to bring the village back to, it's safe, relatively safeness sort of thing. But yeah, this looks really cool. This looks 100% like a game I would play. It's right up my alley. I love these. I love the art style. I love the gameplay of these sort of
And you love
games.
priests.
I love priests. What can I
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
And priests love me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Brutal Fate. Have you seen this trailer? So this is actually from the creators of the Brutal Doom mod. I don't know if you've ever seen the Brutal Doom mod, but there was a very popular mod for the original Doom that just added a bunch more like gore and gibbing and stuff like that, and huge explosions. And they've taken that kind of idea and they've turned it into its own game now, so they don't have to like be under Bethesda's thumb, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because like id sold Doom to Bethesda, didn't they? Sort of thing. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, because they're published under them, right?
Trying to remember who has the rights to.
Because like the Doom BFG edition is like a really bad port of the old. Yeah, that's just kind
Owned
of fucked things at this point.
by ZeniMax Media.
Right, yeah, that they own Bethesda.
Yeah. So ZeniMax has the rights to Doom, and I guess like it's cool to make a Doom mod, but then you can never monetize it because you don't have the
they got really
rights.
fucked by Bethesda, I think, from what I know.
Yeah, this game looks really cool. You can go on Steam and wishlist it now if you want.
Yeah, I kind of like.
I've already got it on my wish list.
This is the goal that you wanted from the other game, right?
Yeah. I just want
the robots.
the diabotical game. Yeah.
Okay.
Just the massive. We're getting like a huge wave of like old school kind of like Doomish games coming out now, which looks really cool. So.
I'm remembering the video, the origins of Doom sound effects. Yeah, I'll cue that up for later.
Cue that one up for later, Tony.
Yeah.
We got another teaser trailer for the new Left 4 Dead update, but we actually got details in the form
This is
of
the
the
map
description.
one, right?
So we now know that the update is going to include a new campaign based on the original Last Stand survival map, and I'm just going to pat myself on the back because that is exactly what I said I would like and I thought might happen. But yes, we are getting a campaign based on the Last Stand survival map. I called it. And they've also said that's not what's all to come. They did also show two screenshots exclusively to Valve News Network, which was a screenshot of a map and then a screenshot of an achievement. So it seems like there's going to be a new survival. There's going to be a new campaign. I think probably we're going to have the Last Stand survival mode ported to Left 4 Dead 2. And they also showed off Bill in this trailer.
Oh, right.
So it'd be interesting to see like the Bill character. But I believe I'm going to look this up. But I believe the Bill voice actor, he died. He died in 2017. So it'd be interesting to see how they like do like a story with Bill without the voice actor. So yeah. But they said that's more to come. So potentially we could have something to do with versus mode. Other stuff they could do. They could do something with. They could add a new weapon maybe. Honestly, there's like 20 credits for community members, and only some of them are mappers. So honestly, there could be anything coming to Left 4 Dead. We're just gonna have to wait. It says coming soon. So hopefully by the next podcast I will have some more information for you. But if we don't, then just hold tight.
Yeah.
We got a new trailer for Gloomwood, and this is something that wasn't shown off in the demo that we did the spotlight for. It's got the inventory style for Gloomwood will be the attaché case, similar to Resident Evil 4's case, where you said you loved the Tetra style of inventory management.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I do really like because like in 4, like it's like, oh, I want to pick up this shotgun, but like it's going to take like this entire top section on my fucking case.
But as we said again,
I kind of like that.
This is the Mr. Blobby style, as we've now deemed it.
Yes, Mr. Blobby.
But if this game interests you, check out our spotlight video on it. I fucking love this game. I love the art style. I love stealth horror games. I feel like that's such a unique genre. So
I just turned the sound on. They got this very Resident Evil 4 like sounds as well when you play.
And you got the cheese distraction technique coming in as well. So that is really OP.
I didn't even
the cheese wheel, yeah. This game looks really cool. It's really fun. I've played it, so check that out. Tony, this came out of fucking nowhere, at least to me. They're remastering Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Like, where the hell did this come out of?
I don't.
So Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 Complete Edition will be Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, coming to PC and Nintendo Switch September 24th with remastered HD visuals.
I swear,
it will have the Soaked and Wild expansions bundled with it as well.
But doesn't it already? Yeah, I guess so, because like the actual
Game Store
Tycoon 3 Complete Edition has all the DLC attached to it as well, which I think I own as like a DRM-free version.
So are you asking whether you'll get this upgrade for free? Is that what you're asking?
I don't see how I could, but
well, sometimes you do get upgrade free, like the Kingdoms of Amalur remaster. Yep. They gave a 60% sale to original owners.
But how are you going to know that I have it if it's DRM free version? Like I feel like it
only DRM. On a DRM platform. I was pissed off about this because I wanted to play BioShock 2 the other day, and I was like, I have the physical disc under my bed, and I was holding it, and I was like, but I don't own it on Steam, so I don't have BioShock 2 or BioShock 2 Remastered. Because in the sale, I bought a BioShock 2 DLC. And you remember that box that says you need the base content to play this, and I'm always like, yeah, who the hell would buy a DLC for a game they don't own? I would, because I don't own BioShock 2 on Steam. Because I wanted to buy Minerva's Den and play it, because I never played Minerva's Den. So now I have Minerva's Den for BioShock 2, but I don't own BioShock 2 on Steam, despite owning the physical copy.
God.
So I guess I'm gonna have to buy Bioshock 2.
Oh.
But the good thing is, if you buy the DLC or the game, you get the Bioshock 2 and the remastered edition. If you buy one, you get both. So that's the good thing about that. I have heard
Cool.
the Bioshock 1 remaster, when it came out, wasn't very good, but they fixed it. And now the Bioshock 1 remaster is pretty good. But the Bioshock 2 remaster is like pretty buggy and pretty crashes a lot. But that's just a quick tangerine. So are you going to get Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 Complete Edition, Tony, the HD edition, or are you going to stick with the original? That's my question.
I don't know. I kind of like the original. In its own little niche because I feel like Planet. Is this full 3D now? Is it like the same isometric view? I'm a bit confused.
It looks 3D to me.
It was like 2 with isometric one.
I've never played I've never really played a roller. I've played a couple of roller coaster kind of games, but I've never really gone into them. So
I've probably picked this up. To be fair, I'm kind of a sucker for roller coaster tycoon games, even if I don't really play them.
Do you have Planet Coaster yet?
Yeah, I have Planet Coaster now.
Have you played it?
No. It's one of the things like I find it really hard to start. Like I feel like I need like kind of like a vision of how I want my park to look to sort of go. I don't know if I want to do it like survival or creative sort of thing. Or
okay, we're going to the final trailer.
I want money.
Going to the final trailer, and I'll try and quickly go through quick news. The Unfinished Swan is coming to PC and the App Stores. It's from the creators of What Remains of Edith Finch, which is quite a popular kind of walking simulator style game. I think you said that you thought it was quite good from what you've seen, perhaps?
Yeah, I think it's still kind of like, I feel like there should be more mechanics than just the walking, but like as a good walking, like it's like a puzzle walking simulator. This
game I've actually played at least part way through on the PS3 when it was on PlayStation. I play it with the Move controllers. You can, if you don't know about this game, it's basically like the world is like lots of white, but then you can paint the world with like this black paint and use that to solve puzzles, which is pretty cool. Like from what I've played of this game, it's a pretty like cool artsy puzzle game. Yeah, so definitely check if you're a fan of puzzle games or maybe more artsy kind of less gameplay heavy games. Then definitely check this one out, especially if you're a fan of What Remains of Edith Finch sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I found I really enjoyed playing it with the Move controllers on the PlayStation Move on the PS3, so that was pretty fun. Maybe there'll be a VR mode, I'm not sure. It'll be cool if they had a VR mode, but I don't think they are going to have one.
Make use of the Waggle-tastic controls.
I have to say. Okay. Move on to quick news. Of course, we have to talk about the Epic Apple lawsuit. But we got a new contender for Epic. The Coral Castle in Florida is suing Epic over the fake Coral Castle in Fortnite.
I'm so confused by this.
The roadside tourist attraction has been seen in feature films at least one Billy Idol music video. I saw the images of the Coral Castle in Fortnite and I was like, okay, right. And then I was like, okay, what does the Coral Castle look like in in real life? And I was like, that looks fucking nothing like the Epic one. What the hell is this lawsuit?
I guess it's the name.
I don't even know if this castle is called the Coral Castle though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that no one's gonna win this. I think
let's have a look. The corner of the map drained away, except it's called Atlantis. It's not called Coral Castle, so they can't even get them on the name rights.
Right, I have no idea that. I kind of quickly.
I just thought this was really funny because I was like, this Coral Castle thing looks absolutely nothing like the Atlantis part of Fortnite. I just thought it was pretty hilarious that they would try and do a lawsuit over that. But yeah, just some quick news.
Yeah, the Fortnite one is actually based on Atlantis imagery from like old Aquaman stuff, from what I can tell.
Oh, so apparently the new Arcane game Deathloop is going to block the PS5 DualSense controller triggers when your weapon jams.
I like what you've written it.
So you can't use the PS4 controller on the PS5. Can't we just turn this feature off and then use the PS4 controller? Why do we need a PS5 controller for this?
Yeah, Oh, I agree with you. Like, I think it's a really cool feature, but why can't you just turn it off? Like, it's just just add a tick
It was
box.
like
Surely.
on Ratchet and Clank, when you were
Tool of
when you were
destruction.
flying in from the ship, you could use the what was it called, six
Six
axis, where you
axis,
could
yeah.
turn the controller. But then they were like, well, we'll just add an option to turn it off, and then you can use the analog stick like you could
Thank
in the other
God.
games, which was
Thank
way
God you could
easier than
turn
using
that shit
that
off.
fucking waggle-tastic control.
That was the most awful gameplay I've ever felt. I was like, instantly I started playing like 5 seconds, like, you know what, I need to turn this off. Six
So
axis is
Deathloop
shit.
has actually been delayed to Q2 2021. Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe has been delayed to 2021 as well. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 delayed to 2021.
Delayed.
Also, the lead narrative designer for Brian Mitsoda and creative director Kanai Clooney left the team. So I don't know maybe something's going on when you lose your creative director and your lead narrative designer, and then the game gets delayed. So maybe something went on there. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
You like since something got cut and then it got delayed?
Yeah,
Like, you know
maybe.
what, we're gonna
Alexandra Mandrake has come aboard as creative consultant, filling the creative director role for Bloodlines 2. They scrapped the writer and the main creative lead 6 months before release. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like that's very to get rid of the main writer and the main creative lead of a game 6 months before it comes out. That says to me there's some trouble going on with this game. So we'll have
surely it's mostly done at this point, though.
Yeah, but whenever you lose leads
agree,
like this before, if there's a 6 month period before this comes out, that says to me there's major changes being changed to the game, especially when you lose heads like this. Oh, Tony, pack.png has been found. We found Panorama, and finding Panorama was found in the downtime for finding the original pack.png image. So yeah, pack.png
I watched
from
a video
Minecraft.
before the podcast, actually, and he's explaining like his video kind of accidentally sparked this off 8 months ago. It's really interesting mechanics they had to use. There's like thousands of GPUs being leveraged to scan. Something to the power of 22 seeds or something. It was kind of ridiculous.
I should have just asked Notch.
I didn't know.
Oh, he had no idea.
Apparently,
he was like, I have no fucking idea.
They're looking for a Herobrine screenshot right now, and they're. Oh, I learned something about Notch. He apparently, while he was working at Mojang, he'd like to just randomly change the size of his taskbar. So it's really hard to know what size the pack PNG original screenshot size was.
Oh, because he kept changing his taskbar. So
yeah,
he kept changing size as well.
So they had no.
What are you saying about Herobrine, Tony?
Huh?
What are you saying about Herobrine? Herobrine's not real.
No, there's a screenshot that Notch posted about Herobrine, and the people trying to find the seed.
And they want to find the seed for a post of the Herobrine fake screenshot sort of thing. I understand. Okay.
And they're trying to find a seed in the background of a painting in Minecraft.
Okay, right.
That might or may not be real, because I don't actually know if that's actually a real terrain, or if it's just really.
Well, there's some Minecraft news for you.
Yeah.
Every post-launch Marvel Avengers hero will have its own $10 battle pass. Every time I hear about this Marvel Avengers game,
it gets worse.
I feel like it gets worse. Like, what the hell? And I think the sentiment that a lot of people have said is it feels like they're charging money for a free-to-play game at this point. I was speaking to my brother yesterday, and he was asking me about the Marvel Avengers game, and he said, "Is it any good?" And I was like, and he said he didn't even know what kind of game it was, and I was like, "Do you know Warframe?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Oh, it's kind of like Borderlands. It's more like an ARPG sort of Diablo sort of thing where." Because he was like, it's got multiplayer. Is it PvP? And I was like, no, I think it's PvE sort of thing, and you just go in and loot dungeons, and then you go off and complete daily tasks and stuff like that.
Remember when games came out with single player with co-op components? They weren't really bulked live service platforms.
Yeah. Next
to me,
one.
it should be a single player.
Cool, good
game.
news. There's now a Outer Wilds VR mod, so you can now play the whole of Outer Wilds in virtual reality.
Sounds great.
Sounds like I would be horribly motion sick, flying around in the spaceship.
Oh yeah,
Especially a lot of the stuff that happens in Outer
works, yeah.
Wilds when you maybe like fall into a black hole or something in virtual reality. That would be terrible for motion sickness. It looks pretty cool. Like, it seems like there's smooth locomotion sort of thing.
Yeah, I think they have to smooth some of the stuff out right to make it not motion sick. I don't know.
There's a few like Outer Wild mods that are pretty cool. Someone was working on a multiplayer, like a co-op Outer Wilds mod, and I saw like a video of that, and that looked pretty cool. Like everyone had their own ship because they all had to launch from the same place, and other ships had collision. So you would have like ships flying through each other. It was pretty cool. Like I think the Outer Wilds has mod support by default, which is pretty interesting because there's not many mods. There's from the Nexus page I saw there was only maybe like less than 10. But when you have stuff like this really cool VR mod or like a multiplayer mod, that's like really cool stuff to see. So shout out to those guys. One of my favorite games I've played in a long time, Outer Wilds. I actually finished it recently. So definitely check out the Outer Wilds if you haven't, or if you want to know more about it, check out our Tangerine video until I say stop watching the spoilers. So I was going to report on this, Tony. Rocket Arena. You remember I was talking about how it got like literally announced by EA, and then immediately they were like, they added it to Origin Basic, like immediately, so everyone who had Origin Basic could play it. I was then going to talk about how they reduced the price from $30 to £5 because it seems like they want to do everything apart from making it free to play. They've now also given it out for free with Twitch Prime. They really want people to play this game, but they really don't want to make it free to play. So I guess more powers at EA there.
That's a Randy patriotism.
We got new information about the Lord of the Rings Golem game. It's been said it's a Prince of Persia-like stealth game with a branching narrative, which is kind of interesting, given some of the Ubisoft news we got as well. Who's making this?
Yeah.
Daedalic? Is this the name? Daedalic Entertainment? I don't know much about these people. Daedalic made Deponia, Aya, Memories of Old, Edna and Harvey. I don't. The only one that is anywhere noticeable, like I've heard of it before, is Aya, Memories of Old, which came out in 2017. If you look up that game, which I think I have from like Twitch Prime or something, but I've never played it, so I don't really know anything about it.
I did A Year of Rain I've heard of, Deponia I've heard of.
I haven't really heard of those games, so you'd know more than me.
Blackguard, oh okay. Interesting.
But anyway, I just thought it was interesting that the Golem was going to be more of like a stealth action game with interactive gameplay. Like I thought that's a really cool angle because Smeagol is very much, walking through the shadows. Why don't we make a Lord of the Rings game where you play as Golem as like a stealth character? That would be pretty cool. So we got a little bit more information about that. Owners of the original Kingdom of Amalur will get a 50% discount on the remaster. I thought I'd mention that again. And it has a 10% launch discount. So if you buy it with the 10% launch discount, it becomes a 60%. I've heard the re-release of the Kings of Amalur Re-Reckoning is not very good though. It doesn't really improve that much, and it's not like a bit buggy as well, so watch out for that one.
Yeah, it doesn't look much different from what I remember, but I guess it's been upscaled to work with higher resolutions and better textures.
But like a lot of the places still look the same sort of thing. There's not really any big improvements. This came out, Path of Exile Heist. You can now plan like bank heists in Path of Exile as a new game mode, and it looks pretty fucking cool. Like I love like all the stuff Path of Exile is doing for their game. It looks really cool. Like every time I see it, I'm like, man, I want to play Path of Exile because it's like You play Diablo
Yeah.
3 and it's like you play the same season over and over again, you get some cosmetic awards, and you look at Path of Exile and it's like, man, that looks so fun. And then you play Path of Exile and you look at the tech tree and you're like, fuck, I'm so confused. I'm gonna break my character. Anyway,
Oh god.
Twitch Sing shuts down January 2021. So on December 1st, they will begin removing Sing's videos and clips per our contractual obligations. It seems like this is a service that not many people use. I would say probably when it came out, people would go on it. They would do a duet with someone and then they'd check if people were doing duets with them. They'd use it for like one stream and then not again. But it seems like, this is speculation from me, but it seems like they were having to pay a bunch of money to make sure that they bought the rights so that people could sing to the songs, and then they want to recoup some money by like
obligation.
They wanted to recoup the money they were spending on licensing out these songs for people to sing to, because I believe they said that they're going to rework their audio system that they have over at Twitch. So maybe they're going to work on maybe more helping streamers with DMCA problems that they're having, like auto detecting music and that sort of stuff, because there was a big problem earlier this year where loads of streamers were getting banned for getting DMCA strikes from big music company labels. Are now very much more interested in music clips from Twitch streams, and also they can DMCA based on a live stream, music being played live as well now. So music on Twitch is a big thing. It's a big shame because I don't know if you've seen like the really funny Sips played Twitch Sings a lot, and he had like tons of really cool, really funny Twitch Sings clips. So those are going to be deleted. So hopefully those get backed up to YouTube. Yeah. So we're gonna lose those.
I think one of them was saved to YouTube already. I think yeah, it should be backed up.
Retailers are starting to delist the Oculus Quest. So this could mean we're going to get a Quest 2. And I assume based on the Facebook rebranding, it might even be called the Facebook Quest. Because of all the like, they've like rebranded like the whole of Oculus now to be like the Facebook VR department sort of thing. So the Oculus Quest 2 might just be like the Facebook Quest sort of thing. So that will be interesting to see when we actually get some information about the new Quest, if that's happening. Another piece of Minecraft news: Minecraft is adding PSVR support this month. So if you have Minecraft on your PlayStation, you'll be able to play it in PlayStation VR. If you have it on PC and you want to play it in VR, the Vivecraft mod...
Good luck.
No, the Vivecraft mod is really good and it works on multiple platforms. You don't have to have a Vive. You can use it with any VR headset. The Vivecraft on PC is really good.
Have you seen people play it?
Yeah, I've seen people play it.
Okay.
The Vivecraft mod for the Java... Are you talking about the Vivecraft mod for Java, or are you talking about the official Minecraft VR support?
I've seen both. They both seem really hard to play.
Okay. Well, I think the Vivecraft one does look pretty good from what I've seen. So
yeah,
I would go with the teleporting rather than the smooth locomotion.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's still super confusing for what I can see anyway. Maybe it makes more sense actually in game, but
so that is being added this month in September. You can play Doom on a calculator, Tony. You can now play Doom on a pregnancy test. We've finally got the technology. You pointed out, why the hell would you need high technology for a pregnancy test? And I was like, I have no idea. Maybe it's reusable, but don't you pee on it? So who knows?
Yeah, I think it's reusable, but like surely like a calculator is all, like the only space you need. Like you just need a percentage of how accurate it is, and yes or no, surely. I don't know.
It's 128 times 32 pixel monochrome display, and here we have a little video of somebody playing the actual game. I'll get a better. Oh, this one's got more of a zoom to it if you want to see the screen. It does look playable. I mean, definitely not the most impressive Doom experience. I mean, you can get the like Crispy Doom or Chocolate Doom mods, which like upscale the original Doom to play it based on the shareware version of the original Doom mod. If you want to try those out,
it's kind of an interesting look to a game though. Kind of like it's kind of like a limited voxel.
I feel like I get so pissed off. I'm watching this for like a minute and I'm already getting like pissed off of what's a wall and what's a different character. But it is possible to play Doom in a pregnancy test. We have the technology. Steam, in order to combat scams related to gift cards, Steam will no longer allow activating Steam wallet codes issued in a different currency than the one your Steam account uses. This is to stop regional pricing exploits again. They're cracking down on this even more because, yeah, it does not help when people get games and gift cards from like Venezuela or somewhere where they have very, very bad economies.
How does it work with
like
Humble though?
How does this work with Humble?
Will this affect keys given by the developers, or is this gonna?
This is just specifically for gift cards. So this won't
Fair enough.
change with Humble, I think. I don't know how it works with Humble. I'm really not sure. Finally, Dwarf Fortress minimaps and disembowelment update. Tony, they've updated the minimap in Dwarf Fortress. I feel like every time we get a Dwarf Fortress update, it looks like better and better sort of thing, like in the original ASCII art. Like we had the UI update before that looked really cool. Like I love the new art style and like the new minimap and stuff. It looks really cool, and I like when they had the UI update where they allowed the mouse dragging support instead of having to go like individually through the menu with the arrow keys sort of thing.
But why did they make a second game?
Why didn't they make Dwarf Fortress 2?
Yeah.
Do you know how long? It's like two brothers, and they've both been working on this game for like 10 years or something like that. And they make other side projects, but this is the project they work on. Like it's just two brothers, and they just like fully work on this sort of thing, and they don't work on anything else really. So this is like their passion project, especially since they have like I think they have like a Patreon or like a something. They have like some sort of crowdfunding that keeps the game going. So now they're doing like the regular update sort of thing to keep the support for the backers. Because there's a great no-clip documentary on Dwarf Fortress if you want to watch that, where he interviews one of the brothers who works on Dwarf Fortress, and he goes in and talks about how he just kept making it, and then he got talked into like maybe we should get like financial support from the community so we can keep developing this sort of thing. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, that's quick news.
This technically hasn't been released, this game. This is what's happening. What?
Dwarf Fortress, the Steam version still has not been released because the planned release date is time is subjective.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading. Like, what the hell?
But these are updates that will come with the launch of the Steam version, sort of thing. Because you can still play the original ASCII version from their website, and you will always be able to download the original ASCII version for free. They've said that. So this is just to try and get more people putting more time making the game look better and more accessible so they can give the game to a wider audience sort of thing on Steam.
Yeah.
So we'll move on. That was quick news. Only 38 minutes. Not bad.
Getting quicker.
Quick news. Fall Guys is finally adding anti-cheat, thank God, in the next couple of weeks. The Mediatomic's popular Battle Royale game will add the easy anti-cheat to stop bogus beans following a big update. I remember I was saying to my friend Andy, we kept talking about how there were so many hackers in Fall Guys, and I said to him, I don't think they even have an anti-cheat system, and they don't. It's just their internal software where they say they can detect hackers and they ban them after they've ruined the game. Like, they ban them after the game's finished, but that feels terrible for all the users. And because then they have to play the entire game and they have no chance of winning. It's like, if we get into a lobby and we spot a hacker in the beginning, we just leave because there's no point playing that game. Like, it started off like I would see a hacker very rarely, and then it became a point where every other lobby was like a hacked lobby sort of thing. And it became like, I think this is definitely what was ruining my enjoyment of the game a lot.
Yeah.
So this is definitely something that needs to be added. Like I was saying, like I think even like on the last podcast, I was saying we saw the season 2 stuff, but before they even add, new content, they need to fix the hacker problem because that's what's going to destroy the player base before the lack of content is going to destroy the player base, sort of thing. We saw this with games like Apex Legends had a huge cheater problem in the beginning, and when they fixed that, it was a lot better, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know. Oh, okay. So you remember I was talking about there was a bidding war. They said whoever donated the most money to charity would get their skins put into the game. We have the winners now. So 4 people came together: Ninja, the Twitch streamer, Mr. Beast, the YouTuber. Do you know Mr. Beast? He's quite popular.
Yeah, I know Mr. Beast. From PewDiePie.
From PewDiePie, yeah. G2 Esports, the esports, one of my favorite League of Legends teams. They're a big esports brand, and Aim Lab all came together. So they've done a collaborative bid of $1 million at the last minute, and they've won now. So Fall Guys will be adding a skin of each of the people who pledged. They'll get 1 skin each. So we kind of know what Ninja's going to have the Ninja skin. We know that's going to happen. G2's logo is a samurai, so we're going to have a G2 samurai skin. We have no fucking idea what Mr. Beast's skin's going to be, but I assume it would be...
It's going to be Mr. Beast.
Well, I assume it would be something to do with his, like, tiger YouTube icon, if you've ever seen that. And then Aim Lab, they have, like, the blue dots, but I think Aim Lab were going to run a competition to help them design their skin, so I think Aim Labs is going to change based on what the community wants. But yeah, I was going to say because they did like a text post about cheaters as well. Before they said they were adding easy anti-cheat, they said basically, I think this is so stupid. They said even if you report someone's number, we can't do anything with it because there are only 9,999 possible Fall Guy numbers, because each Fall Guy has 4 numbers, right? But there are millions of players, so each Fall Guy number is shared by thousands of players. So if you say Fall Guy 9,999 was cheating, there's still 1,000 players that could be. And I'm like, couldn't you just add more numbers, or couldn't you add letters, like an alphanumeric one? Because there's another company called YouTube.
What about your Steam ID?
What about a small company called YouTube, Tony, that has unique IDs for every single YouTube video? It's possible to have billions of unique IDs if you use a combination of a few more numbers and a few alphabetic characters. You could have billions of.
But I don't understand. But why can't you just have your name above your head?
They still have not fixed that problem with people being able to exploit the names, so they could create massive names that took over the entire screen. I feel like people have said like it's a really easy fix, but I don't know. Mediatonic is a small UK company, and I feel like they've been
I didn't realize it's a UK company.
They've been given an overwhelming player base, and I've been giving them the benefit of the doubt so far, but I think until this easy anti-cheat stuff, it's good that they've put that out, but I was going to say like I'm starting to lose the benefit of the doubt a bit with them because of some of the stuff they've said.
It might be like
when they've been pointed out by people like Gary Newman saying, hey, your Steam ID is linked to family sharing, so you don't need to remove family sharing, sort of thing. I gave them the benefit of the doubt, but we'll have to see. Like, if the easy anti-cheat stuff goes through, it helps with hackers a lot, and then we also have the new content that goes well. I'll be back on like, behind Mediatonic. But if this stuff goes through and we're still like having massive problem with cheaters, and we've all being called like Fall Guy 1, 2, 3, 4, and still they can't ban cheaters, that's when I'll be like, okay, you got to do something about this.
Yeah.
Also, they were saying like they've been saying that they were going to add a giant hammer called Big Yeetus that was going to randomly bot people forward or back. But given how like memey the Fall Guys Twitter account is, I can't tell if this is a meme or not. Like, they were saying about this for like days and days, but still have no idea if this is one big meme or not. I thought I'd mention it. Speaking of games getting new console upgrades, The Witcher 3 is coming to next generation consoles and PC with visual technical improvements, including ray tracing, faster loading times, and this is going to be a free update for those who own the game. So this is free if you own it on Steam, GOG.
Can I get a free update to my PC edition?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying right now.
Okay, cool.
Did you not hear what I said?
Yeah, no, no. I just making sure. I'm kind of referencing the next story, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, so the PC edition will be getting a free upgrade as well, which is really cool because I played a little bit of The Witcher 3 in the beginning, and then I went and played Gwent, and then I didn't play anything else. I just kept playing Gwent, and I never actually played the game.
How did you get stuck in the Gwent? I don't understand.
I love Gwent. Gwent's amazing.
I know, but how did you get stuck in the Gwent loop?
I was like, I don't want to play the game anymore. I just want to play. I was watching someone play Knights of the Old Republic, the really old BioWare Star Wars RPG, and inside that game there's a game called Pazak, and Pazak is like blackjack, but it's like kind of like Gwent. And I was watching it, and it's like you gamble, so you have like, so you keep hitting until you get to 20 instead of 21, but then you also have in your hand you have cards that can like add to the score or minus to the score. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to win like 3 hands of blackjack, but also you're trying to like expend your opponent's hand while keeping your hand. And I was like, I want to play Knights of the Republic now, but I don't want to play Knights of the Republic. I want to play Pazak. I want a standalone Pazak game. And I looked it up. There's no standalone Pazak game that exists. Like, there's fan-made ones that you can go and print off yourself as like a card game. And then there's like, I think there's an Android fan-made Pazak game that you can play, but there's no official one. So yeah, if you're listening, people, if you're listening, Disney, make an official Pazak standalone game. I would play the fuck out of that.
Stop giving it to EA to do Star Wars games.
But yeah, when The Witcher 3 ray tracing comes out, I will do my Witcher 3 playthrough with ray tracing, and that'll be pretty cool.
With your 3080.
Yeah, wow. I don't have a 3080. I got a 2080 Super. So, but I will be able to do the what's it called, hardware accelerated ray tracing. I actually don't know. Is this hardware? We don't know if this is hardware accelerated ray tracing or software accelerated ray tracing yet. So we'll still have to wait and find out about that. But I assume if it's coming to next generation consoles, I assume it's going to be hardware accelerated because the next generation consoles will have the big Navi hardware acceleration. Yep, what are you saying?
Yeah, from what I understand at the moment of software such as hardware, it's like it seems that even if you implement a software, you can implement a software only ray tracing and make it so it can be improved with hardware acceleration.
Okay. Well, I feel like
you have to enable that
from the software-based acceleration we've seen, it seems very CPU bound, like from what we've seen of the Minecraft path tracing mod and the Crytek tech demo they're going to add to Crysis Remaster. It's very CPU bound.
It seems more that you it's sort of, like how Chrome kind of has like the hardware acceleration. It's kind of like you don't need to have it active, but it's a lot better when you have it active. It seems to be more along on those lines.
The hardware acceleration fucks up my Chrome, so I have to have it turned off, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. But yeah. So, Tony, you remember when 505 Games said that it was impossible to upgrade Digital Deluxe Owners of Control to the Ultimate Edition? They accidentally upgraded the Digital Deluxe Owners to the Ultimate Edition, and then they took it back. Psych. Mm-hmm. I can't believe this. This is insane.
What I was watching a selling video on this, and I completely forgot this was I think it's a Twitter response or like a blog response or something. They're like, "Oh, we can't upgrade everyone, so we're not going to upgrade anyone." It's kind of what they said, and I'm like, "Okay." And it turns out they can upgrade everyone.
They just didn't want to because they wanted more money.
Yeah. What a load of liars!
What a bunch of Weasley little liars, dude. Anyway, we now have we've got the reveal of the Xbox Series S. So this is not the Series X,
no,
which is the big flagship console. This is the budget one. This is the 1440p 60 FPS console, it would seem. So this will include support for 120 frames, 1440p. Whether I think maybe 60 FPS if there is ray tracing at all, I'm not sure. It says it has support for DirectX ray tracing. I don't know if this will be able to do 1440p 120 ray tracing. We'll have to see.
The DLS is 2.0, right? So maybe it's possible to
Yeah,
some extent.
this will have 4K upscaling for games, 4K media playback support, and it will have a custom NVMe 152GB SSD. And the Series S is 60% smaller than the X, so it's going to be a lot smaller. From what I've seen of it, people have been memeing on like the giant, like is that speaker? Or is that cooling? I don't actually know.
I think it's cooling.
People are saying like it's a massive speaker sort of thing. Yeah,
I think it's cooling. I don't think it has inbuilt speakers.
I think this is a really cool budget console, but who needs a budget console right now? I mean, this is like big for like to show to like maybe not so much AMD, but to Nvidia and say, hey, why do your graphics cards cost so fucking much when I can get a Xbox Series X to run 1440p, 120 FPS, ray tracing for £250?
I actually think this is a really good idea, though, considering we might like actually be in a recession after the COVID-19 stuff. Like, I think a lot of people might struggle to get the new generation of consoles otherwise.
Yeah, but to get this kind of performance out of like a Nvidia GPU, you would have to spend £250 plus just on the graphics card itself.
Yeah.
So this is like insane.
I do hope it. Yeah, I think this will actually help the PC market as well. Yeah, I think that's true. I think
so that's coming out
hopefully anyway.
November 10th, as well as the Xbox Series X as well will be coming out November 10th.
Oh wait, we have a launch date for these consoles.
November 10th for both of them.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
We have a launch date for both of these consoles. The funny thing I'm going to find is because of Xbox naming scheme is so fucking confusing. So many kids are going to ask for the Xbox Series X, and they're going to get the Xbox Series S, and there's going to be a lot of disappointed kids this Christmas, I think, when they get the wrong console. So the Xbox Series S has been confirmed. It won't get the Xbox One X enhancements. So if you don't know what that means, the Xbox One X enhancements basically made it so when you played in the backwards compatibility mode, so if you were playing Red Dead Redemption, for example, it would have enhancements just for the Xbox One X.
Oh, okay.
But the Xbox Series S won't have that enhancements in the console. So if you want to do the backwards compatibility for the console, it won't have the enhancements, which is kind of a shame. I don't know if that was a technical limitation or what, but that just seems a little strange to me. They said backwards compatible games will still look better on the Xbox Series S due to improved texture filtering and other enhancements that the Xbox Series S will have. And games with dynamic resolutions and unlocked frame rates will also benefit. And many first-party games that are enhanced for the Xbox One X, such as Forza Horizon 4 and Gears 5, will be updated to make use of the extra power afforded by the Xbox Series S and the X, but other older titles, such as stuff like Red Dead Redemption, as I mentioned, will not have those enhancements. What are you going to say, Tony?
No, don't worry. I was just getting very confused by the naming scheme again.
Yes, it is very fucking confusing, isn't it? We have the Xbox One X, and then we have the Xbox One... We have the Xbox Series X, and then we have the Xbox Series S.
I can't tell the difference between Generation 4 and Generation 5. It's very confusing.
Yep.
PlayStation, keep me the naming scheme. It's great.
It's like, what's the 5th generation of PlayStations called? Oh, the PlayStation 5. Oh, okay. Wait, what's the better one? Oh, it's the PS5 Pro. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's so easy.
But yeah, we've got the announcement for both of them.
Microsoft is shit at naming.
They just really fucking love their logo, and it's like, let's put an X on everything. I don't know if you saw...
Xbox One first came out, and they're like, how the hell are they going to do this naming scheme? And that turns out they're not.
Well, you remember when like the 360 came out, and everyone was like, the new Xbox is going to be called the Xbox 720.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway. I don't know if you... The Xbox Series X is and the Series S both launching November 10th. The Xbox Series S is, of course, going to be £250, as I mentioned. The Xbox Series X will be $500. I don't know how much that will be in pounds. Xbox Series X price in pounds. Let me do some exchange for our UK friends. £450 in the UK. So that's like, oh, that's such a good deal. I feel like for like how expensive PC hardware is to have like a console that powerful.
Wait, what's the SSD size for the Series X? That was 500, right?
It was 500 for the Series S. I assume they're going to sell different size storage, like they do most of the time.
For the Series S.
1 terabyte SSD for the Series X.
Oh, okay, that's actually really good. Then.
That's really good, yeah. Especially considering, like, if you want to play Warzone, that's going to be like 20% of your hard drive space already gone.
There's one thing I did want to say. Like, I remember from like a Jay's 2 cents video, like, oh, I doubt they'll make a loss on the consoles. That's not actually true. Normally, they do have a loss because they make way more money at the game sales and now the microtransactions.
They usually do hardware at a loss a lot of the time with new console releases. Yeah,
like the PS3 famously had a loss like the first 3 years, like a big loss as well.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard about this, but Frogwares removed the Sinking City from stores due to their publisher Big Ben breaching the contract terms. They wrote an open letter to the community. So if you don't know, Frogwares, they made the Sinking City, which was like a narrative-driven, like Eldritch kind of experience. I don't know if you remember that. They also did the Sherlock Holmes games as well.
Yeah, I know who this is.
But
they're being really shitty.
So this is what Big Ben is doing. That is really shitty. Their publisher. So the Frogware logo and copyright was removed from all the box art from the Sinking City when it was on console release. So they completely snubbed Frogwares from the physical release. Dozens of domain names for the Sherlock Holmes and Sinking City brands were bought by Big Ben Nacon without notifying Frogwares at all. A tabletop version of the Sinking City RPG was created without even informing Frogware and distributed freely, featuring the wrong copyware notice. Finally, when launching Nacon on the public market, the official stock market prospectus suggested the intellectual property of the Sinking City was owned by Big Ben Interactive and Nacon, despite being owned by Frogwares. And only by pure coincidence did they learn in February 2020 that the exclusivity contract with one of the storefronts was on the verge of being breached. If you don't know, the Sinking City is an Epic exclusive, I believe for a year. And then they found out that there was an attempt to release a pirate version of the Sinking City on a third-party PC game subscription service, again without telling Frogwares at all, which would breach their contract with Epic, which means they would lose a bunch of money that they had accrued from this contract.
Going on? I don't understand why they're doing this. I'm so confused.
So basically, they've put an open letter out to the community to let people know what's going on with Frogwares, and I believe that they've removed the game from the stores to try and get out of this. Basically, they've said that Big Ben is breaching the contract terms of their publishers, and they're going to like try and either like sue them or get out of the publishing deal, because basically it's just a really bad situation for them. So they're going to remove the game from the store until they can get their intellectual property back. And I've heard before, like, the Big Ben Interactive has been doing like super scummy stuff as a publisher before, so this isn't like new news when it comes to them being assholes.
No, but I thought it'd be over by now, but if it's still going, it's kind of shit.
So Frogwares has decided they will be self-publishing all future titles. It's what's best for the studio, our games, and our fans. We started out already down this path by releasing the Sinking City on Nintendo Switch, which is entirely our own doing, and now with Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1, we're set to release it ourselves across the board. So let's hope for them that their self-publishing goes well, and then hopefully they can sort out this publishing deal with Big Ben Interactive as well, because that kind of sucks. Okay, we just got the Realm Beyond update for Dead by Daylight. There's a brand new graphics and animation update to Dead by Daylight. I have played this a couple of days ago with a friend. The graphics update looks really cool. I love the changes they've made to the maps. I love the brand new animations for all of the generators. Before, when you worked on the generator, it was one static default animation, but now, like, depending on the side you're on, if you're working on the side with like the gears, you'll like turn the gears, and there's another side where you can work on with the wires, and you'll like put the wires together, sort of thing. Like, all the graphics updates look really cool. I'm really happy. Like, the Killer Shack has like a unique model on like the Japanese map for the spirit and stuff. That's really cool. Also, we are getting updated tick servers. So the original Dead by Daylight tick servers were 30 FPS, 30 tick rate, sorry. The new tick rate of the Dead by Daylight dedicated servers will be 60 tick, which is really big, especially when you have higher tick rate is way better when you have people who are on worse connections. This helps people who are on better connections. And as we've even seen, we saw last week, we talked about the hit registration beta they're running on the game, which should heavily improve when a killer has a bad connection and he's hitting you when he shouldn't be able to. We're getting this has been released now, so we're getting the Descend Beyond chapter, which is adding a brand new blighted corruption killer who's like really, I think looks really cool. He's got like this corruption like oozing out of him, and he's like, he can inject himself and run like really fast, sort of thing. And we're also getting a new survivor as well as being added. We also got a set of patch notes for this update that came out a couple of days ago. So the main patch notes of the update are they fixed the flashlight because the flashlight was bugged. There's a new blueprint offering for both the killer and the survivors, which will allow you to see the location of the killer's hut and the basement at the start of the game, and it will increase the chances that the killer's hut spawns with the basement, and it will also increase the chance that the killer's hatch spawns at the killer's hut, which is really big if you have like a key, or you are the killer and you want to guarantee you can close the hatch so none of the survivors can escape through it. But yeah, that's the new DVD update. I've played it. I really like the new graphics updates. I think there's more being added as well, so that's really cool. Here's full patch notes if you want to add it. They're adding the Felix Richter survivor. I don't know if you saw about this, Tony. There was huge fan backlash because EA added in-game ads to UFC 4. So it's a fully like $60 game that you pay for. And during replays, they had an advert for The Boys pop up that would play.
The Boys!
Yeah, The Boys would pop up and play during...
I love the pop up, it's so good.
It would play during replays and stuff.
If this was a satire for like showing how bad it would be to have ads in a game, it was perfect. Unfortunately, it was real.
So, it was an ad before and after replays. It would add it in after launch for a $60 game. It was So this wasn't in the game in the beginning, and then EA apologized. They removed it from the game, and they promised, guys, we're really sorry. It won't happen again. Mistakes were made. I can't believe this has been blown so out of proportion. We're EA. We're the good guys. We didn't mean to put ads in our $60 game. It was an accident.
Yeah. They're doing so well as well. Like they're not fucking up as bad this time.
Yeah.
And then
because I got to talk about some.
What the fuck are they doing?
Because EA Play is now available on Steam, and it's $20 a year, just like Origin Access. So you're like, cool. I've been saying for like ages, Origin Access is really good, and you can now get it on Steam as EA Play. But EA Play on Steam has approximately 80% fewer games than EA Play on Origin. Why the hell would you ever get this over Origin Access, is what I asked. Because I believe almost all of the games still launched through Origin if you get the Steam version of EA Play, the new name of Origin Access. And if you get the Origin version, you can get the third-party games as well. So Xbox Game Pass has been updated as well. EA Play is now included with Xbox Game Pass. These are two of my favorite gaming subscription services have combined into one service. You can get Xbox Game Pass for PC members will get EA Play if you have this on Windows 10. So that's really cool. And they were saying, hey, guys, we're adding EA Play to Xbox Game Pass for no additional cost. And I was like, £4 a month for Xbox Game Pass and EA Play? That's crazy. No, fuck you. They're raising the price of Xbox Game Pass. This is not coming at no additional cost. They're just making the subscription more expensive.
Wouldn't it? Yeah, wouldn't it make more sense to have two versions, like the base version, which is the current one?
It would. It would be way better for consumers, but there's no way they're going to do that. So they're raising the Xbox Game Pass price for a little. So originally, if you wanted to play Xbox Game Pass games on PC, it was £4 a month, which was very good, and they had the introductory price. And they're now raising it to £8 a month. So you can get Xbox Game Pass for PC and EA Access as well for £8 a month, which I do think is still a very good deal considering how many games you're getting for that. You're definitely getting at least 600 games from EA, Microsoft, and tons of third-party games as well. I think that is still an incredible deal. But whether you'd be willing to spend £8 a month on that is really up to your budget, and whether you'd be maybe if you got it for a month or something.
Yeah, to me, it's more of a problem of it's like going, on Netflix, so you have all of these films and series you can watch. How much can you actually watch per month, or how much can you play per month? In this case, I guess it's I guess a month is a long time for the play stuff, but not everyone has the time. I feel like a lot of this money will be wasted for a lot of people. Whereas
but it's like if there's a month I was like, man, I kind of want to play Sea of Thieves, or man, I kind of want to play Battlefront 2 again. I could just subscribe to this for a month, and then I could just play those games, sort of thing. I think that would be a real use case for me.
More and more subscription-based things, because there's tons of people.
It's a live It's a live service, Tony. Everything's a live service.
Yeah, but it's because then if they don't use it, then they're not. There's no stress on the servers, and they're just paying for it anyway. It's okay, free money basically.
So the way they're justifying this is, they're saying that the £4 was the introductory price, and now that with the general availability and the fact they're allowing you to stream your games to your mobile, and also EA Play is included in the price.
Yeah, but
that's the price increase.
That's only 20. Well, that's really cheap per year, though, wasn't it?
Origin Access was 20. You can still get EA Play, the old Origin Access, for £20 a year on its own.
Yeah. How was this worth it?
Because three months of this is more expensive than a whole year of EA Play.
Yeah, but even combined, the old £4 per month, and if you take the £20 per year divided by 12, that's less than £1. It's less than £4 anyway. It's that old money system is far cheaper than
this. They stealthily removed the annual subscription from Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Gold. So
you can stay accidentally subscribed for too long.
Yeah. Well, people wouldn't buy an annual pass unless it was way cheaper. So. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to graphics. We'll talk about EA a bit. We'll talk about Microsoft a bit later, actually.
Okay.
The GeForce RTX 30 series graphics cards have been revealed, Tony, and the Founder Edition looks kind of cool. I like that the Founder Edition has the fans on two sides to increase airflow. You have the one fan on one side and one fan on the other. I think that looks pretty cool. I like the look of the cards. I think the look of the cards is pretty cool.
Have you seen the hands-on of them from Linus and Jay's yet?
Yeah, I've seen that. What are you going to say about that?
I'm just saying it's kind of interesting. It seems to be pretty solid heat fins. It seems really solidly built around. Again, no testing done or released anyway, but it seems to be it is designed around cooling.
Yeah, it looks a little similar to the 2080, in a way, apart from the fans, obviously.
Yeah.
But so it's going to be $500 for the 3070, $700 for the 3080, $1,500 for the 3090, which is the new RTX Titan. This is the new. So to break this down, the 3070 is supposedly, according to Nvidia, we don't have official third-party benchmarks yet. The 3070 will be more powerful than the 2080 Ti. They've claimed it's like it will have 200% more ray tracing performance, whatever that actually turns out to be.
That's not gaming performance. That's literally just ray tracing performance, though. So we don't actually know how good it'll be overall.
So, but $500 for a 3070 that's more powerful than a 2080 Ti, which is thousands of pounds or thousands of dollars, is insane if that holds up. The 3080 had an 80% improvement over the 2080 in ray tracing in the Digital Foundry benchmark video. That's an 80% increase of the original 2080, so not the 2080 Super or the 2080 Ti. Because we did see a Digital Foundry video where they were allowed to talk about percentage increase in performance based on a bunch of Nvidia selected titles, but they weren't allowed to talk about FPS. And according to Nvidia,
RTX on
the 3090 RTX will be able to do 8K 60 FPS for the two people that want that ability. So the two people who want to play games at 8K 60 FPS, there's now a card for you. I think the 3090 is going to be for like big tech companies to build supercomputers. I don't think anyone actually needs a 3090.
No, but I agree no one needs it, but I think it's going to be like the really rich people that just want like bragging rights.
People will always want the most powerful card on the market.
Yeah.
I agree with that, yeah.
That's what that's for, really.
The big dick rights.
Yeah.
So we have seen some benchmarks from Nvidia where they're saying that they're showing the 3070 has a 1.6% performance leap at 1440p on Control, Minecraft, and Borderlands 3, which were some of the pre-approved games that could be shown off.
Yeah. We don't really know how they're testing it, and we know that companies will always choose the best games to show the best.
So that was a 1.6% performance increase over the RTX 2070. They were showing that the 3080 had a 2 times performance at 4K over the standard 2080. And then they were also showing that the Titan RTX versus the RTX 3090 in some games had a 1.5 relative performance to the 1 performance of the Titan RTX to the 3090. I love that they're calling the RTX 3090 the BFG though, PU, the big fucking GPU, like the original Doom BFG kind of weapon naming style. That's so cool.
Wait, can I play Minecraft RTX at 60 now without it dipping massively?
That's not FPS. No, that's not.
No,
that's not FPS.
No, so
that's relative performance. Whatever that means.
Yeah, it's just completely useless. Wait for reviews.
Yeah, I could talk about like CUDA cores, stuff like that, but I don't understand that stuff. Like, that stuff goes over my head. Like, I'm a
It doesn't necessarily mean anything either. Like the architecture and that is like the overall architecture is way more important. Like actually what you get out of it. So it's not even.
I think the big thing is that the 3090 is going to have 24 gigabytes of G6X, their new like proprietary
DDR6 plus sort of
sort of stuff, like, which is pretty insane. Because the 2080 Ti has the G6, the 3070 is going to have the G6, then the 3080 and the 3090 are going to have the G6X. I think the 2080 had 2080 memory. I think it's like 8 G. I want to say G5. It might be G6. Like a G6, like a G6. No. I'm on the official fucking website for. Yeah, okay, 8 GB of GDDR6. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas the TI had the 11 GB. But I don't know how big like the memory band is going to be for gaming at all. Like, obviously, 24 GB of G6R is definitely going to be for like artificial intelligence, deep learning, that sort of stuff, more so than gaming is going to be used for.
Well, but okay. How about the fact that they're gonna try and do a PS5 with the 30 series?
What are you trying to say?
That's gonna like bypass the CPU and recall textures directly from the SSDs to stream
Oh,
into the
they were
world.
also doing like they also had a new motion blur hardware acceleration, so you could get motion blur on without losing too much performance, sort of thing. They had like a new
Or
motion
just
blur
turn it off.
rendering technology. Yeah, just turn it off. I hate motion blur, so
No, I just think it's really cool that they're trying to to counteract AMD and PS5. They're like, oh, we're gonna do the same sort of streaming from the SSD to get like
oh,
the loading
another
screen time stuff.
reason the
That's
RTX
pretty cool.
3090 can do 8K gaming is because it has the brand new HDMI 2.1 technology, which is
Oh yeah,
which supports 8K. So
yeah, 3080 has that as well. Does yeah?
because I think most people these days use DisplayPort because
Yeah,
it's very fast, responsive, high refresh, high resolution stuff. But I think HDMI 2.1 is actually some pretty cool technology for high resolution displays. So
yeah. Well,
whereas HDMI
it
wasn't as
has
good,
3 display ports
the original.
and 1 HDMI. So
Yep. Got to plug my VGA cable into my GeForce RTX
oh,
3090.
I think I wanted to talk about like now it's lost the VR USB-C that the 20 series has. At least my 20 series has anyway. So
But
I guess that's not a thing
Nvidia's
anymore for VR.
Nvidia's DLSS 2.1 super sampling now supports VR, which could massively
That's pretty
boost
cool.
VR fidelity. Because if you don't know, because of how close VR is to your face, being able to upscale into higher resolutions is way more important in VR than it is on a desktop monitor when it
Yeah.
comes to visual fidelity. So stuff like 4K and 8K is way more important for VR than it is on a desktop system, sort of thing. For
Mm.
it's hard to explain unless you've used virtual reality, but it comes way more evident when you've seen like even like 1080p or 1440p in VR. The visual fidelity of like text and stuff is way harder to read than it is in the higher
Yeah.
resolutions. So
You also
I'm
more
super excited
performance
for
as well.
DLSS 2.1 because I thought
Yeah.
DLSS 2.0 was really fucking cool. So
Yeah, that was
2.1,
amazing.
thumbs up for Nvidia. As well, we've got an announcement: Fortnite and Call of Duty Cold War, the new Call of Duty. I haven't talked about it. I don't care. We'll get ray tracing and DLSS support. So that's going to be really interesting to see. I'd be really interested to see Fortnite with ray tracing support. I tested the Call of Duty Warzone ray tracing and I was very unimpressed by it. So I will definitely be looking at more Unreal Engine with Fortnite because I
Remember
was
Call of
very
Duty came out
much.
with sound ray tracing?
Sorry?
Remember when
Yeah,
Call of Duty
call
came
it.
out with
Yeah,
sound
call it.
tracing? How
Yeah.
useless.
Well, you use the ray. You use the ray tracing for sound instead of shadows, sort of thing. Which meant
Yeah,
that
I understand like
which
the
meant like
echoes and
the
like bouncing around
yeah the sound
corners,
where
but
the sound was coming from was way more accurate with the
well,
ray tracing sort of thing.
why would you choose sound over visuals? That
No,
doesn't
they
make any
had
sense.
shadows as well. It just wasn't implemented very. I think the best ray tracing that exists on PC right now is Battlefield 5,
Yeah,
Metro,
yeah.
and
Control?
yeah, I haven't tried Control personally.
I've seen a lot of control content these days
Uh,
because like has everything.
Minecraft RTX does actually look pretty
Hmm.
cool. So
Yeah.
those are some of
Other
the
than the
best
water
examples
textures,
right now.
but
But
that's my
I'll be
pick.
interested to see like so it's like some examples of like Ghost Runner has RTX and it's not very well
Oh
implemented as
yes.
well. The new cyberpunk kind of game
Yeah,
looks really cool.
but the baked-in graphics actually looks better than the ray tracing and runs better as well in a
Okay, so
server.
you're now going right. That's it. I'm going. I'm gonna pre-order my new graphics card. Hold up, wait a minute.
Hold up.
We don't have official third-party benchmarks, so we have no idea if Nvidia is selling porcupines or not. Also, you could wait. There has been leaked a 16, I think it's a 3060 Ti, like a more budget GPU coming out. Of course, I assume they're going to release a 3080 Super or a 3080 Ti to bridge the gap between the 3080 and the 3090. I think we maybe disagreed on this. I'm not sure. Maybe it was Daniel I was talking about, and he said he didn't know if they were going to do a Super or a Ti, where I thought they were going to. I also called this. You said you didn't think they were going to be called like the 3080 and the 3070.
Oh,
you
yeah,
said they were
yeah.
going to go with
I
a different
thought they
naming
just
scheme.
again.
But I think this makes the most. This makes the most sense to keep it like the branding consistent.
Yeah, to be fair, they've got like quite a few years they can use this naming scheme now. So
in 2 years' time, we'll be talking about the 4090 RTX 2.0.
When we're really old,
But I think this is RTX
series.
2.0, but that'll be like the RTX third series by then, probably.
I'm
and you think in 2 years'
9080
time we'll have Intel's first ray trace graphics card that they said they're going to come out with? My prediction for Intel's first ray traced graphics card is going to be 2025. That's my prediction right now, so we'll have to see. I think 2025 is the year of Intel ray traced GPUs.
No, 2023.
But anyway, what was I saying? Hold up, wait a minute. Don't go out and buy anything yet. Next month, we are getting announcements for Big Navi and Zen 3. So if you're thinking about upgrading your PC, like I was talking to my brother yesterday, saying, hey, I'm going to upgrade my PC, wait. Because you're going to want to buy... You're going to want to buy a Zen 3 CPU, and you're probably going to want to buy... PC. And you're also probably going to want to invest in a... or at least check out the new Big Navi AMD RDNA2 GPUs, because these Game Changer have ray tracing. So we'll have to see how AMD's approach to ray tracing compares to Nvidia's. What are you going to say, Tony?
Yeah. It's just adding to your things, like that's kind of like the same technology that's not the same design, but like similar technology that's in the PS5 and Xbox. So it's like that's the RDNA.
Both of the new consoles are using AMD's architecture for their ray tracing as well. So we'll have to see how the consoles and the new GPUs compare to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait for this stuff to come out, because I'm also looking to upgrade my PC, like everything basically from scratch.
Even the GPU.
So, maybe not the GPU.
Because you have a 2080, right?
Zen 3, but I might actually think about getting the 30 series, depending how much better it is. But it looks
what are
like
what are you going to do with your 2080 then?
I was going to turn an RTX on Minecraft.
No, like you were going to sell it.
What am I going to do with it? I don't know, because like my plan at some point is like sell it to someone, but it looks like they don't want to buy it anymore. So
yeah, why would somebody buy a 2080 when they can get a 3070?
Because they can't afford a 30 series. I was going to sell it to them very cheaply.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think a lot of people are going out and selling like their 2080 now. Like I think lots of people, since they've seen this news, are like, oh shit, I got to sell my graphics card and get another.
Yeah, I don't like selling them like the free market. I like selling it just like to people I know.
So I have a 2080 Super, and this news came out, and I was a little bit like, oh man, I'm getting better. They're getting better performance, but I'm also like, I'm fine with the performance I get on my graphics card.
Yeah.
And there's like some people say, oh, you should have waited, but the thing is, if I'd waited, I wouldn't have had the performance that I had for many months, and also the time I bought the graphics card. It was when COVID was happening, so like the fact that the manufacturing for these cards even exist is like a miracle. Like we have no idea what's going on with like travel manufacturing and that sort of stuff. Like these things are obviously going to be sold out for like many months after release. So I think it's gonna. I don't think you'll be able to get your hands on a 30 series GPU until probably like 2021.
Yeah, I think that's pretty.
So I think for me, I'm probably I'm probably not going to upgrade my GPU until like the 4000 series comes out.
Yeah, my plan. Yeah, depending. The thing I was thinking though is like if this was like actually like such a big increase from the 20 series, my plan was to upgrade to the 30 series and then not upgrade for a very long time. That was my current plan. Like I want to kind of like I want to like not upgrade for a long period of time with a bigger increase, but like a good performance to generate.
Well, the thing, because I upgraded 2 series because I went from a 90 series, so I had a 974 gigabyte, and I went to a 2080 Super, which is 2 series along. So for me, I felt like I needed to upgrade because I needed 1440p resolution and 144 hertz refresh rate, which wasn't possible on most games with the 9070, which is why I upgraded. But now I've got that performance, so I don't really need more graphics card right now. Like, there's nothing that I need a new graphics card for.
I went from a 770 Ti to a 2080, so that's
because when I got my new graphics card, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be so much happier playing games now, and then I spend most of my time playing like 2D roguelites, and like don't go out and buy like the best, biggest, most powerful graphics card and think, man, now I'm going to enjoy gaming more. Just remember that you know, get a graphics card that does what you need it to, and then just enjoy the games that you want to play.
One thing I will say, I actually really looking forward to the Witcher 3 ray tracing. I really hope that I want to be able to play it like really high performance, like high FPS as well. So I may think about upgrading to the 30 series sooner rather than later.
But do you have a 2080 or a 2080 Super?
2080. It was before the Super.
God damn it! I was gonna say I could SLI them if you had a Super. Is SLIing still kind of a thing, but it's like so janky.
We both have SLI slots, but it's not really supported in most games.
Anyway, just a dumb thought.
But I want to say something. Like people are like, oh, why the hell why are they still releasing the 2080 if they got the 2080 Super? It's so they can release SLI. Like if I wanted SLI, I have to be able to buy a 2080. That's the reason.
Right. They're going to stop manufacturing the 20 series now, which makes sense.
Oh, yes.
So they're going to be like rarer cards now.
The SLI was shit anyway, and SLI is not even possible in the 30 series unless you get a 3090. So
let's talk about Apple. Let's talk about some apples.
Apples. I love apples.
Epic Games has asked the court to stop Apple's retaliation against Fortnite's suit. If successful, Fortnite will be restored to the App Store. So Epic claims it's being harmed by the removal of Fortnite, losing active Fortnite users on iOS by 60% since the removal of Fortnite from the App Store. And they said that iOS users make up a third of all Fortnite users. That's not mobile users, all Fortnite users, a third of them are on iOS mobile. So that seems kind of insane.
Well, iOS is like a big market, so
I think they're trying to ask the court to stop Apple removing the app from the store because it's harming their revenue, sort of thing.
Wait, this is like you can like load Fortnite on your iMac using the iOS, right? That's technically an iOS platform,
I don't know actually how that works. I'll be honest with you.
No, I don't know how that works.
I'm not like I've used a Mac like once or twice at school, and I know like next to nothing about Macs. I know I have an iPhone, and I know quite a bit about how iPhones work, but I've never been interested in Macs. So
I've not used a Mac since the iPod Touch. So
right. You haven't used an Apple device, is what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
We have
one in the house. Back to the previous point, sorry. Zen 3 isn't being announced on October 8th, and Big Navi on October 28th, sorry.
I find it interesting that they're doing...
Yeah, they're doing them like 20 days apart, which seems weird.
I have a theory.
Yep.
I think they're going to be more of the 3060 sort of level, but they're not like reaching for the 3080 sort of level. So
the thing is...
They have time to do that.
AMD's always been the king of budget cards, and then Nvidia's always been the king of flagships, because if you want the most powerful graphics card in the world, you have to buy an Nvidia card.
But you don't need that, and you can get away with a 3060, then it might actually be better to get... we have to wait and see, but it might be better to get an RDNA 2 card. A better price performance with ray tracing.
So, Apple has doubled down in the fight with Fortnite creators Epic. They are seeking damages for the breaching of the contract. I do agree it was a planned move when they come out the next... As soon as it gets removed, they come out with a lawsuit on Google and
Definitely
Apple, and
planned.
they come out with a bunch of marketing towards Fortnite kids saying free Fortnite sort of thing.
What damages are there, though, for Apple?
It said Apple said in the filing that Epic Games has earned over $600 million from its App Store. Although Epic portrays itself as a modern corporate Robin Hood, in reality it's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise that simply wants to pay nothing for the tremendous value it derives from the App Store, Apple said. So it's saying that Epic Games has profited off being on the iOS store and then has tried to make a targeted move to remove the cut from Apple that they take to allow people to use the iOS store.
Yeah.
And that's the damages.
My personal opinion is if Apple allowed you to sideload apps not through the App Store, the 30% cut is perfectly fine.
Well, we'll talk about that now. Google is trying to distance itself from the Epic versus Apple legal dispute. Google themselves have said, look, guys, there's multiple app stores on the Android, which is 100% true. There's the Google Play Store, there's the Amazon Store. I think Huawei has their own store now because they're banned from using the anything to do with the US company. Sorry?
India has one.
India has one because everything I know about India is that they hate PUBG because they keep banning everything that has to do with PUBG. But we'll talk about them a bit later with Ubisoft. And they've also said, hey guys, as well, you can sideload apps from the web. If you don't know what that means, you can download an APK file from the web, which straight onto your Android device. You don't have to use the App Store to get an app onto an Android phone.
And Fortnite knows this because this is how they started on Android.
Before Fortnite released on the Google Play Store, they sideloaded the app through an APK, which you could download off their website.
And they then decided to go to Android's Play Store because they got more money.
We literally talked about before on the podcast saying that they wanted to be on the Google Play Store without having to pay the 30% cut.
I find it really tiring from Epic though, because this is the same nonsense they pulled against Steam as well. You're being so uncompetitive with a 30% cut.
Yeah, with the Epic Games Store, and they're saying like, hey, we're going to give you the 12%
You know what else is anti-competitive,
cut.
Epic? Exclusives.
But I think when it comes to like Steam's cut, I think Steam's cut's like 30%, right? And then with the Epic Games Store, they have the 12% cut, and then the 8% cut if you use the Unreal Engine license.
Yeah, no, I know.
The difference was that with giving that cut to Steam, you obviously have the exposure of being on Steam, but you also have Steam dedicated servers. You have Valve anti-cheat. You have workshop support. You have Steam forums, achievements. Like there's so much value of being on Steam that comes with that cut that Epic just can't give you with their smaller cut because of the scarcity of content on the Epic Store and how new the store is.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Epic being like, right, to be competitive in this space, we're going to have this smaller cut in Steam. What I do find offensive is like them going, oh, see, we're the good guys and Steam's the bad guys. It's like, no, fuck off. It's just different business models.
So, Epic Games really apparently has lost $26 million monthly following the App Store account termination. This is a rumor. We don't know if this is... Rumor, speculation. We don't know if this is 100% true, but if they're losing $26 million a month because of this, this is definitely big damages to their company if they're losing this. So that's pretty big.
Yeah.
We've actually got an update recently. Apple put an indefinite extension on the termination of Epic's uses of sign-in with Apple. So they are...
That's pretty petty of Apple.
So they stated that they were going to terminate sign-in with Apple support for Epic Games accounts after September 11th, but they're now no longer doing that. They've put a extension on it indefinitely, so all developers can now still sign in with Apple with their Epic Game account, but we don't know if it if it's going to be changed at any point, it might do. So at any time they could reverse that. So Epic's still saying just be prepared that they could remove this at any point. We don't know. So it seems like Apple's cutting back a little bit with some of the attacks on Epic they're doing. So we'll have to see if these guys can like sort something out soon. Apple is moving to make advertising harder on iOS 14. So this is part of a bigger trend. This is I think we talked about this before, but this is causing massive beef with Facebook, who has massive advertising through iOS on their mobile app. But this could be an attempt to take over the mobile advertising market and turn iOS into a more closed advertising system. So this could be Apple moving to be like, hey, we're going to cut down on advertising, and then we're going to be like, hey, if you want to advertise in iOS, you have to go through us with a 30% cut.
Yeah.
Let's make this system even more closed, because everyone's getting this advertising money and we're not getting our cut.
Yeah. I feel like this Epic lawsuit thing, like, kind of like I do think Apple has like a monopoly system, like the way they implemented the App Store, the way people have to use the App Store. But like Epic's lawsuit doesn't actually focus on any of that at all. It's like only for them to pay less money to them.
Okay, final piece of Apple news, I promise. So you said I was talking about earlier with Microsoft. They're having big issues getting the Xbox Game Pass streaming app on Apple. They can now get it on the Apple Store, Tony, and it's really easy. Listen to this. The Apple have updated the App Store review guidelines to allow streaming game services, but to get it on there, you have to submit each game to the App Store individually. If a streaming game service has 100 games, for example, each one of those games will need an individual App Store listing as well as developer relationships with Apple. The individual games have to have some basic functionality when they're downloaded. All the games on the store need to offer in-app purchases using Apple's payment processing system, in which Apple takes 30% of the revenue.
Someone I was watching said there might be a workaround for this, though. That you might be able to get away with like a streaming app that technically streams the game from Microsoft servers.
Yeah, I don't know how to...
So you just have to put through the streaming service? So
what if you want to
have its own streaming app?
This is fine for games that already have an iOS version of them, but what if you want to stream like Sea of Thieves and it doesn't exist on iOS? How are you going to submit someone to be able to stream Sea of Thieves onto their phone without it existing on iOS? It just doesn't make any sense.
It's really dumb.
It seems like Apple and Microsoft need to have like some sort of talk where they can be like, hey, can we just submit a game that doesn't have basic functionality, that's just this game in title that allows us to stream it? Like, it's so they're making it so convoluted and hard.
I also hate this, like, you have to have in-app purchases, and you're like, I don't want in-app purchases, I want it to be a free app.
As we've learned from like other apps that wanted to just be a free app without in-app purchases, Apple will force you, if you want to add more updates to your app, to include in-app purchases to stay updated, which is really shit. Yep. So I've put in the podcast doc. I'm done with Apple and Epic. I don't care anymore. I'm not talking about them anymore. Unless something huge happens that I want to talk about, I'm not talking about Apple or Epic. I just don't care anymore. Okay, let's move on to our big news, Gamescom.
I'll say one thing, final word, I guess. Apple and Epic, fix your shit. You're being incredibly bad to consumers and the customers. Like, stop being anti-competitive, Apple. That's it. We're done.
Okay. Let's move on now. So, we got some extended gameplay for Ratchet and Clank Rifts Apart. You said you thought it was the first bit was new, and then I think after that it was kind of more of what we've seen already. I think the big thing, if you want to watch the full extended gameplay demo, I like one thing I noticed that I, as an old school huge Ratchet and Clank fan, the Goons for Less, I thought was kind of a nice reference to Thugs for Less from the Ratchet and Clank 2.
Yeah, my criticism is that everything just seems to be a reference to other Ratchet and Clank games that are making their own stuff, though. Like, I like the referential stuff, but like all the enemies are like enemy types from previous games.
Yeah, you have like the pirate dimension with like the quest for booty stuff. I think
they got the metal dogs.
I think people were saying like, "Oh, you have a grav bomb, you have a blaster pistol." Yep, it's a Ratchet and Clank game.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't really do anything new with the series other than
yeah,
the Rift stuff.
I'm a bit scared that it's a bit derivative, but I will hold out judgment.
I think the bigger announcement from this is Tony, I'm going to quick pat myself on the back again. Turns out Insomniac Software, when they said, "Hey, we'll add a performance option to the new Spider-Man game, which you also make," I said they should do this for Ratchet and Clank as well, and they are. Yeah. So there will be a lower resolution mode, which will offer 60 frames per second. If you don't know, the PS2 games for Ratchet and Clank were all 60 FPS. The PS3 and the PS4 games for Ratchet and Clank were 30 FPS. Oh, this is a huge announcement. This came out of nowhere. We are getting an Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. This is crazy. Yeah. It's
Have you played 3?
Have I played 3? Yeah, I played 3.
Okay.
But it's Age of Empires 3 remastered.
Do they?
Sorry?
Don't people prefer 3? I don't know. I don't know enough about Age of Empires. Is this a good one?
Yeah, I like Age of Empires 3. I still remember that PC Gaming. I still remember PC Gamer where they had the advertisement at the back of the page, which was like Age of Empires 1 and 2, and then 3 was like Settlers, and then 4 was going to be like World War, and then 5 was going to be like XCOM kind of style. Like they were advancing through history with all the Age of Empires games, and like none of them actually came true, and I was so upset. Like I really wanted to play an Age of Empires game with like World War II and XCOM and stuff. Yeah. But it's really cool. Basically, we're getting a Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, or Age of Empires 2 HD kind of style remaster of Age of Empires 3. Have you played Age of Empires 3 yourself?
Wait, what?
I was asking, have you played Age of Empires 3?
I haven't played any of the Age of Empires games.
Oh, okay. You never played one.
I've never played any game.
I played 2 and 3, and I really enjoyed those.
All my knowledge comes from Michael. That's it.
I've played like probably the most of 2, but I haven't played it in so long that I wouldn't be able to tell you that much about it. I remember like Age of Empires 3 graphics blew me away at the time, because it was like Age of Empires 2 was like very like almost 2D, and then Age of Empires 3 was like, oh my god,
2005.
It's like 3D graphics. I was like, whoa, that's insane.
It came out in 2005, the original. What the hell?
Yeah. Wait, did you think it was earlier or later?
I thought like the first Age of Empires games were about that time, but I guess
no,
not.
Very long time ago. Age of Empires has been coming out.
1997 for one. Okay.
But there's your Michael news. There's a new Age of Empires remaster for Michael to play.
Oh, there's quite a big delay between 2 and the 3, apparently. Okay.
Yeah. So we got more Gamescom news. We got a new Shadowlands a animation for the new expansion. The big announcements we found out were Shadowlands is launching on the 27th of October, very early release. Another interesting thing to point out, the minimum and recommended specs for Shadowlands both list an SSD. We talked about this before, how a lot more games are moving to have recommended and minimum specs be SSDs rather than hard drives.
Yeah.
I've already been playing WoW on an SSD because it makes a huge difference for loading times already.
Oh, really?
Especially with lots of add-ons. Like, I think everyone should play WoW on an SSD at this point because it's massive loading time difference. Yeah.
I don't understand. So it takes up 70 gigabytes on the hard drive, but then you get to an SSD, it takes up 100 gigabytes. I see.
This is the difference. This is the difference between Battle for Azeroth and Shadowlands requirements.
Right.
Yeah.
So does that imply the whole game is like 30 gigabytes bigger, or is that like the expansion only?
No, I think the expansion is 30 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Because there's also big changes, like they're adding ray tracing to World of Warcraft for WoW Shadowlands. Yeah. Because Battle for Azeroth recommended was an SSD, but the minimum was still a hard drive, whereas Shadowlands is now baseline recommended SSD. As it's also interesting to point out, the recommended CPU for Shadowlands is an 8-core 16-thread CPU. The recommended one is a Ryzen 7 2700X, which is what I have. And the recommended GPU is a 1080. And it's worth pointing out Shadowlands will have a ray tracing option. So it seems like if they're recommending a 1080, it's probably going to be, I think it's software-based ray tracing then.
Yeah.
Because the 10 series cards can't do hardware-based.
Either that or they're being fed to the AMD equivalent, because isn't it ray tracing AMD card?
We also got a announcement of the Threads of Fate. So if you're leveling up an alt character in Shadowlands, if you don't know, the levels in WoW have been... It used to be level 1 to level 120, but they've now squished it for Shadowlands, so it's now from 1 to 60. And then 60, and then 50 to 60 is just Shadowlands.
Right, okay.
So when you play through Shadowlands once, when you get to level 50, you will play each zone in order will have a story that progresses. But when you play on your alt character, so you're leveling another character, you can now go into what's called the Threads of Fate, which will allow you to go straight into a Diablo adventure mode style, where you can just level up doing world quests, side quests, and bonus objectives and dungeons. So this is very similar to the Diablo adventure mode, where you just go through randomly generated rifts instead of having to play the story again. Every patch of WoW, we get closer to Diablo. I think this has been coming for a while, where all the Diablo 3 devs went and worked on World of Warcraft. So now WoW's becoming way more like Diablo-like, which I think some people don't like.
Good, right?
Well, it depends on your philosophy of what the game WoW should be. I mean, I like Diablo. I like the Diablo style stuff, but lots of people disagree with me, so that's completely fine. Because the Legion Legendary system, lots of people didn't like, and was like, "Oh, it's just like Diablo," and I was like, "I like the Legendary system in Diablo, where you have lots of legendaries with bonuses, and then you have random drop chances on them." Which I quite liked. I liked that you could have 2 legendaries, because the way it used to work in WoW is you would have one legendary, and it would be a piece of gear you would earn by beating the final boss of an expansion or doing a long quest chain. But how it worked in Legion was there was tons of legendaries, and then there were random drop chances from any event. So you could just be doing a world quest, and you could earn a legendary, and it was completely random which legendary you got and when you got it, which a lot of people didn't like, but I was like, I'm used to playing Diablo, so I'm used to just going around grinding stuff for legendaries.
They've not done a mix and made it if you complete this sort of event, you have a chance of getting this legendary. If this other event, you get a different legendary chance. So you don't have to choose which events you did to get what you wanted. Wouldn't that have made more sense for an MMO than?
If they gave you a legendary currency, and then you went to a vendor and you bought the one you wanted, cool that's something lots of people have been playing about recently. Yeah. They don't have very much choice in what they get. They'd rather get currency to spend on a vendor.
Choice, yeah.
We got a 15-minute gameplay trailer for Little Nightmares 2 at Gamescom. Little Nightmares 2 is coming out in 2021. Little Nightmares 1 looked really cool. I always wanted I don't think I own it, but I really wanted to get it. It's that game where it's a 3D platformer horror game, maybe similar-ish to a Limbo or an Inside sort of game, where it's very creepy, very scary sort of thing. I think it's more heavy horror than a Limbo or an Inside from what I've seen, but I'm not 100% sure. But that was the one where you played as the little girl in the yellow raincoat, and then this one is where seems like your main protagonist is a boy with a paper bag on his head, so I'm not really sure what's going on there.
He's a robot.
He's a robot. Well, if you know anything about Inside, you'll know that the Project Milo character from that has a very interesting backstory. I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't played Inside, but yeah. Yeah, it looks very similar to that style of game, like Limbo.
I really like these games for some reason.
Yeah, I really like playing these games. At some point, I will play Little Nightmares 1, and then if I like that, I will play Little Nightmares 2. That was a cool little announcement. We got a gameplay trailer for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. This is the game that is putting all of the Lego Star Wars games into one big game and then releasing it in like 4K and a bunch of new features. So you can go pod racing in the prequels.
Oh my god!
You can fight Darth Vader in the original trilogy, and the new like TIE fighting stuff in space looks super fucking cool. I think the biggest announcement that we got from the new Star Wars saga, Yaddle is officially confirmed. You can now play as the female Yoda.
Yeah, I was gonna
From
say.
the is an official canon character you can play as in the new Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga game. So if you don't know about I would say the Yoda controversy, for some reason George Lucas was like, let's call Yoda the race that Yoda belongs to, Yoda, and then let's have one female Yoda. Was she in the prequels? She was like on the Senate.
Phantom Menace. Well,
yeah.
I think my
called Yaddle.
understanding was he wanted to be like, oh, I want them to be a mysterious race that no one knows where they come from. It's like, yeah, that's fine. But if it's a mysterious race and it's like two species, you'd like they might not have an official name. They might not even want to say what their name is, but the people of Coruscant will still give them a name.
Because then recently we've had the Mandalorian with the child or baby Yoda, as people call him.
Yeah, it's such a confusing mess. They refuse to give them the species. I don't even want an official name. I want like, what do you call it? Like a name given by not the species that it is. Like I don't know what that's called, but there's a word for that. And it's like, why can't they just do that and make it implied that they refuse to say what the actual species is called because they're scared people will try and find their planet?
I don't know.
It's so weird.
Maybe a Latin name? I don't know. Sometimes you get like Latin names for animals.
Yeah, a specific example. There's like a more generic term, like if it's been given by the wrong culture, sort of thing.
I don't know.
I can't remember, but that what you're saying is an example of like, yeah, we gave names to like indigenous like African places and South American places. It was like, no, they had their own names.
Yeah, that's the Latin name for it, sort of thing. Yeah. I don't know. That's the best example I can come up with.
Yeah.
We got an official gameplay trailer for Teardown. I don't know if you remember this, but it's every single block is like is simulated with ray tracing physics. They're not using ray tracing for sound or shadow. They're using ray tracing to simulate every single voxel sort of thing to make it a fully destructible sandbox environment. And the main gameplay of this.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I think I showed you like a Twitter video of it like a year ago or something.
It just looks a lot different until like the pipe.
But the gameplay of the game is basically you'll have like a heist and you'll be in a sandbox and you'll have like unlimited amount of time to destroy things to plan your route, and then you'll go into it after you've made your route, and then you will perform the heist via your route, and you'll be timed until like to see how quickly you can get in, grab the stuff, and get out for your escape vehicle. We actually got a bunch of a demo of the game was given to Two Clips Phillip, who's a great content creator on YouTube, and he did a full benchmarking video. He did a full gameplay video. So he basically, I watched his video on this, and he showed the two modes that were available in the demo he had, which was an alpha version of the game, where he showed you have the planning mode where you have unlimited time to plan your route and then go through it. And then there's also a mode where you have to go and do the heist, but there's also an attack helicopter constantly chasing you through the level. So he was saying that adds quite a bit of difficulty to the aforementioned mode that he played before. He said the difficulty can spike up and down sometimes with this mode, but the cool thing about the attack helicopter is it doesn't initially know where you are. Like when you like blow up stuff, it can start to like track where you might be, and then like if you lose it and hide, it won't immediately know where you are. It will have to try and find you again, which is like it had like a really interesting AI system, the attack helicopter. So he said that was quite cool.
A non-cheating one.
He was saying like, I think what people are saying, what Two Clips Phillip said is like, I didn't plan the perfect heist a lot of the time. I just went and destroyed the entire maps to test out the physics, because that was so much more fun than actually like playing the game. But he was saying like there was a lot of replayability stuff with it. So yeah, check out 2Clicks Phillips' video if you want to know more about Teardown. We got a trailer for the Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods. So this is the new single-player campaign DLC for Doom Eternal. Still want to play Doom Eternal. I haven't played it yet. Looks really cool. I love the original Doom from 2016. So yeah, gonna get to go underwater for a bit. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, if you want to know more about this, check this out.
How does the second point you put for this work?
So this is available October 20th. You don't actually need to own Doom Eternal if you want to play the Ancient Gods. So you can buy it as like a standalone game. It's not just a DLC. So they've announced this. So as I put here, you can play. It's playable without the base game, unlike Bioshock 2 DLC, which I accidentally purchased without owning Bioshock 2. Because the thing is, okay, you're gonna say, why the hell would you purchase Bioshock 2 if you didn't own it? I was family sharing with my brother who does own Bioshock 2. But then, if you don't like constantly log into each other's accounts like every year, you get kicked out of family sharing, sort of thing.
Right.
That's how it works. So that's why I thought I owned it. We're getting a new bridge constructor game. If you remember, Head Up Games made the Portal bridge constructor, and we're now getting a Walking Dead franchised bridge constructor, which I'm like, who wanted this? But I guess okay.
What? Bridges and zombies. That's what I.
Yeah, like we didn't really see any like heavy gameplay for this, but I assume like you'll have to build a bridge that like your survivors can get across, but then it stops the zombies from getting across, which I think could be kind of interesting, sort of thing.
Maybe. Yeah.
I haven't played. I think I own the Portal Bridge constructor, but I haven't played it yet, so I'll have to play that and then.
Oh wow!
Decide more about this.
Have you seen the likes and dislikes on this video? I mean, there's not that many likes, but it's like 50-50. Okay.
So look, people are saying like who wanted this, and there was also no gameplay. It was mostly like real life actors instead of like gameplay, which is why like we don't really know that much about it.
Yeah.
So we got a story trailer for Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. So if you remember, Respawn Entertainment, the Apex Legends Titanfall guys, they were working on an Oculus VR game under EA for a while that was under wraps. Some people were saying like, hey, is this going to be like a Apex Legends sort of VR game? But it's actually a Medal of Honor game, and it actually looks pretty cool from what I've seen. Like it's going to have like a proper single player story mode. What are you laughing at?
I like I just shakily puts in the ammo. It's like I'm so scared. I'm putting the ammo into the gun.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think like I remember like the old Medal of Honor games having really cool single player stories, and like the old even like the old Call of Duty campaigns are really good, like Call of Duty 3 and stuff. Yeah. So and like them showing off like some of the physics of like sneaking into Nazi Germany and the secret piano entrance and like using the TNT to blow up the safe and stuff. That stuff looks really cool. That reminds me of I Expect You to Die, the VR game where you play as a spy inside like a supervillain's base. So I actually think this looks really cool. This could be like a sleeper hit. I believe, I'm not 100%, I believe it's exclusive to Oculus, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me check quickly. Medal of Honor Above. Sorry, I should have checked this earlier, but sometimes with these trailers when they first come out, it's like pretty hard to find out which platform they're on, or if they're exclusive to a specific platform, especially for VR.
Yeah.
Just as it's coming to the Oculus Rift, but I'm. It's an Oculus exclusive title. Expected to launch on the Rift, but we don't know about the Quest. Okay, so this is cool. but it might be an exclusive for a while, so I'll have to see about that. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, has announced flashback levels. So these, so this is the Toys for Bob dev who did Spyro, but is not the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy devs who did Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, because they just made Tony Hawk Remastered 1 and 2. So
oh yeah.
I thought it was interesting that they had the Spyro devs make the next Crash Bandicoot game and not the.
They were busy.
Yeah, because they were busy, basically. Yeah.
Really good game.
Flashback levels will give the players the ability to rewind time back to the 90s, the greatest era ever. The flashback levels are designed to challenge players' puzzle solving and technical performing abilities. This will also give fans even more ways to play. Through the collection of flashback tapes, players discover Crash and Coco's origin stories and experience Bandicoot's training in Neo Cortex's test chambers. But the tasks will not be easy. The Sims 4 is getting a Star Wars expansion. There's going to be a bunch of Star Wars content in. Can
we get a Star Trek one next?
Yeah, like the Sims 2 video.
Yeah.
Because I think they already added Baby Yoda to the Sims 4 as like a content update. I found it so strange that EA has like the video game rights to Star Wars, and the first thing they did with Baby Yoda is add him to The Sims rather than like Battlefront or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool if you like The Sims and Star Wars, I guess. There's new dogs in Sea of Thieves, Tony. I knew that would be great news for you.
Hey, what? They changed the dogs in Sea of Thieves.
There's they've added the Pirate Emporium, which is basically the microtransaction store to Sea of Thieves. So they had parrots you could have, which made sense because you were a pirate.
I like parrots.
And they had monkeys as well, I think. But now they've added microtransaction dogs, companions you can have. So,
well, some people are just dog people and they refuse to accept any other animal as pets, like wrestling Matt, for example.
So, of course, this is one of the things that is only available through microtransactions. They said it's kind of available for other people because they get to experience the dog because they're also on the ship with you. Because you can go over and pet other people's dogs. So I guess you can kind of experience this without...
basically get all the content for free if you just look at someone else have it.
The thing is, Fortnite is actually very good for free-to-play players. I think it's one of the best games out there, so maybe not the best example, but fair point.
No, I'm just saying, imagine just saying, you can get this skin.
We also got an update for the Gold Hoarders faction. It was one of the few factions that... It's one of the original 3 trading company factions that didn't have a new quest type to earn reputation with them, which if you don't know about Sea of Thieves, it's a big thing to earn rep with the different factions so you can buy new hats. That's what you need to earn reputation for. But the new Gold Hoarder faction has a new vault raiding puzzle quest. Looks really cool. I love the vaults that they added for the new storyline that you could play in Sea of Thieves. So having like a vault puzzle thing just for the Gold Hoarder faction is going to be really cool. I'm excited to try that out when I play Sea of Thieves again. Sam & Max is making a VR game. I don't know if you remember Sam & Max, but my exposure to LucasArts point-and-click adventure game Sam & Max was they exist as TF2 hats that you can get from playing Poker Night of the Inventory. Do you know much about Poker Night of the Inventory? Like it was a game where you just played...
much about it, but I know it exists.
You could play poker with Sam & Max, the heavy, strong bad, GLaDOS, It was like the ultimate crossover poker game that nobody needed.
It was so weird.
But
it wasn't like the in-game universe, like they like get out of their game to like play poker, just relax.
Yeah, I don't know. I only played it because I wanted the Dangerous Dascarade, like the TF2 items and stuff. I think there was like a Pac-Man spy watch and stuff like that. But yeah, I think this kind of LucasArts point-and-click game lends itself very well to virtual reality. Virtual reality is a very good platform for these more story-driven games, because usually when you're playing a VR game, you want it to be more slow-paced because of stuff like motion sickness. It's a lot better to move around in these sort of environments, and a lot more cool to explore like a game where you have to try and figure out a puzzle when you can actually walk around in a 3D environment, I find. Okay. We got a gameplay walkthrough for Proteus. This is what I was talking about before. We're seeing like tons of Doom-style games being made on modern game engines and systems. So that's really cool. We saw this before at E3, I believe, but this is the gameplay demo, and the big point for this game is it's going to have a level editor where you're going to be able to download community maps. So that's the big replayability, I think, for this game, is they're showing off the really cool map editor with the actual like in-game map. So you won't need workshop support, which is big because I don't know if this is coming. I assume this is coming to Steam, but I think this is one of Humble's published titles. So we'll have to see. Like, it'll be on the Humble store for sure. Let me check if it's on Steam for you quickly. Yeah, it's coming to Steam as well. So I assume they could do workshop support as well if they wanted to, but it will have the inbuilt map editor as well. So yeah, includes level editor tag. We got that.
Oh my god.
The Outer Wilds is getting it. Sorry, the Outer Worlds. I thought I'd throw in that joke.
The other one.
So the Outer Worlds is getting a new single player. I guess it's only single. It's getting a new story DLC called Peril on Gorgon, and I don't know anything about the story of the Outer Worlds because I haven't played it, and I don't want to spoil it for myself.
I haven't played it yet. Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like an Obsidian RPG game, so I just want to play through it myself. So I don't know anything about this other than I assume it's basically a brand new area to explore in the Outer Worlds. Not to be confused with the Outer Wilds, which is a different game that's really good. And we also got some more Ghost Runner gameplay, which is pretty cool. We get to see like some new abilities where in the demo we got to saw like the dashing, but in this new gameplay trailer, we see the ability to ride on drones. We see the ability to blink, stuff like that. So it seems like there might even be like a leveling up system. Perhaps, we don't fully know, but there wasn't in the demo, so it still have to be seen. Seems like you can get like jump boosts as well. So it seems like they're showing off a bunch more like of the parkour gameplay that we haven't seen yet. Let's move on to Nintendo. So it is 35 years of Super Mario Brothers. And one of the huge announcements we're getting, Tony, is Super Mario 3D All-Stars will be a HD re-release of the original Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy, all in HD on the 18th of September. So if you're watching this live, I believe that is in... that's next week. That's next Friday this is coming out. And that's coming to the Switch, so you want the Switch. But they have said they're adding HD visuals to the Switch version, so that'll be really cool to see these games in higher resolution. If you haven't already emulated them to have higher resolution. I mean, this Nintendo we're talking about, cut the emulation. No, emulation doesn't exist. Cut the talk. Cut the talk. But this is the really strange thing, is it's coming as a limited release until the end of March 2021. So you're only going to be able to get this for like 5 months or 6 months or something.
Nintendo doing limited events for some reason.
It just seems really strange. It seems like this is going to be the price gouger's dream, is to get a copy of this game sort of thing, which I find really horrible.
So stupid. Like, what... I was thinking, actually, there is something that Nintendo gets from this, even though it's not actually anything real. Like, they get, like, an artificial... Like, it kind of technically adds more price to their market share to a certain extent. That's about it I can think of, though, why they'd want to do this.
So, so I've never played Super Mario 64, really, or Super Mario Sunshine, but I have completed the original Super Mario Galaxy on Wii, and I love that game. I think Super Mario Galaxy is probably one of my favorite Mario games of all time. It's fantastic. Seeing it remastered on the Switch and having it on a portable console, unless you want to cut up your Wii and turn it into like a Game Boy, like we saw on Linus Tech Tips. That's pretty cool.
That's a lot of money, though.
A little bit little bit disappointed they're not remastering Super Mario Galaxy 2 because I didn't get a chance to play
Yeah, I
that.
understand that
And I
one.
heard that is
2's really good. So
2 is really good as well. So I would really love to play Super Mario Galaxy 2 on a Switch, like have it on a portable console would be really cool. So let's talk about some information we have on this. Super Mario Galaxy will use the touchscreen for the pointer controls. So if you don't know, when you played Super Mario Galaxy, you could have somebody play on another Wii controller and they could shoot the little gems you collect at enemies. So it did have like a semi co-op mode. Like I think in the Super Mario Odyssey, they have a mode where somebody can control the hat as like a second player sort of thing. But it's not like a hardcore co-op where both of you get to play as Mario. It's like one person's the main character and then the second person, it kind of has like an assist mode. But for the touchscreen, for the pointer controls, that will be replaced with the touchscreen on the Switch version because there is no the same waggle-tastic capabilities that we had, or the nunchuck support sort of thing on the Switch Joy-Con. I assume as well if you have like the 2DS, you couldn't do that either. Like because I know that the Joy-Con controls kind of have some sort of waggle-tastic stuff. Right. But if you have if you have not the 2DS, sorry, I'm thinking of if you have the Switch Lite, the controls are fused to the Switch. So they have no Joy-Con support. Yeah. So yeah, you would have to use the touchscreen there. This is big right now because pocket emulators like the GPD Win 2 are super popular right now. People really love these little emulation devices where you can get like a bunch of old emulation games on a little handheld console. So having like the ability to play these much fan-loved old Mario titles on your Switch is going to be huge. I think it's going to be really popular. But I think I think it's going to be really popular because of the limited release. But I also think like limited release is pretty stupid. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
We also got Super Mario 35. Do you remember that fan game that got taken down? That was Super Mario Royale. I talked about it on the podcast.
Vaguely, yeah.
But they're making their own Super Mario Royale now that is similar to Tetris. I think Tetris 99, but because it's 35 years of Mario, it's Mario 35. So this is releasing October 1st.
Cool as Mario Royale.
So it's going to have some of the similar. It's going to have similar design to Tetris Royale, where every time you defeat an enemy, it will like add an enemy to your opponent, like a randomly selected opponent screen. And then like it will add, every time you defeat an enemy, add more time onto yours. And then getting coins can add more time in it. You can collect like power-ups and stuff. So it has a lot of the cool mechanics where you can influence other people's games and other people's games can influence you. Whether you will be able to specifically target someone, like when multiple people start targeting you, that was kind of like annoying when randomly 2 people were targeting you instead of other people having like 1 person or no people targeting them. That seems a bit random, but we'll have to see how that goes. That does look pretty cool. Of course, there was the fan game.
Not as good as actual Super Mario Royale though, but sure.
There was the fan game Mario Royale, of course, which got taken down and I believe was replaced by Jumpman, like an unofficial character sort of thing. So that's pretty interesting.
Jumpman
Super Mario World 3D. I was talking about one of the last like actual Wii U titles that wasn't ported to the Switch. It's getting ported to the Switch. So this comes to Nintendo Switch on February 12th, 2021. This is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which is a brand new expansion that will be coming to the Nintendo Switch on February 12th, 2021. So it seems like based on the trailer, there's some new features that exist that didn't exist in the original Wii U version. There's a new diving feature, it seems. And there will be a brand new expansion that didn't originally exist on the Wii U version. So that's brand new for the Switch sort of thing. So that's pretty cool to see. That they're adding new features to a game that's ported to the Switch rather than just porting the original game by itself without adding anything of real substance, sort of thing. So that's pretty cool. Next thing I'm going to talk about is Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. This one's kind of a curveball for me. I'm not sure what to think about this one, but basically, it'll be available in a Mario Luigi set, and it launches on October 16th. And it's going to be it's going to be a toy go-kart, like a toy RC car that has like an AR feature. So the AR feature will be there's a camera on top of the physical Mario Kart, and then it will add like AR altered reality to your checkpoint map that you set up. What are you saying?
I have a question. Say you wanted to set this up. Where the hell would you do that in your house?
Just in the lounge or something? Like in a dining room?
I feel like a lot of people they don't really have the clear floor space to be able to get away with like a really
Yeah, I think like a big track, you probably won't have that much floor space.
In the trailer, it's fucking huge. Like how much space on the floor they have.
Just push the sofa back, and then you got plenty of space. But the cool thing I think is that it comes with the like physical checkpoint thing, where you can make different, and then you can like track it like you would in like virtual reality or something, where you can say, hey, these are the play bounds, and then everyone can like play this. I think this is going to be a single player only game, unless you've got some kids got some really rich parents, because just to buy one RC car with the game is going to cost £100. So if you wanted multiple RC cars, it's going to be hundreds of pounds.
Yeah, this is going to be another fucking garden party situation. Like no one will do this.
It's another thinking about it now. It's like it's another thing with like the amiibos where they're like selling physical media with digital media to make like way more money, sort of thing.
It's such a Nintendo thing to do.
But that will be out on October 16th. And next month, Tony, you can have your own RC car with altered reality for £100 on your Switch.
Just give me Mario Kart game.
Nintendo is also re-releasing Game & Watch. I don't know if you know about Game & Watch, but it was really old, basically, it's a really old watch that also had like a game device on it. And it was very like basic games from like back in the day. The reason I know about Game & Watch is because he exists as a character on Smash Bros. That's the main reason I know about him existing.
Right, okay.
But basically they're going to make this... Again, it's going to be limited production, but it's going to have like old school style games like Mario and Game & Watch style games as well. And it also has a watch, Tony, so it's still technically a Game & Watch because it still tells the time, which I guess any electronic device you release now, how could it not tell the time at this point?
Yeah.
So this is going to be releasing in November 13th as limited release as well. Limited production. We don't know when they're going to stop production of these, but it seems similar to people who want the nostalgia like the NES Classic. And looks like another price gouger's dream as well with these things. Similar to the NES Classic.
More so, yeah. I don't know, maybe not more so than that, but...
We'll just this is the final piece of Nintendo news. We're getting a new Hyrule Warriors game. So if you don't know, Hyrule Warriors was like a tactic game. I think it was based in the Zelda universe, and this is going to be Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. So this is a new Zelda action game for the Switch.
It's basically Dynasty Warrior in the Zelda universe.
Yeah, so this is coming November 20th. This is a successor to the original Hyrule Warriors from 2014. This is set 100 years before Breath of the Wild, and if you haven't played Breath of the Wild is set in a universe where this big war happened, and it's where Ganon won the war. So it seems like it might be one of the first Zelda games you play where you lose, like similar to Halo Reach, where it's like finish the fight and you can't win because everyone knows that Reach is the planet that lost the war to the Covenant, sort of thing. So it seems like it could be the first Nintendo game where you have to lose, sort of thing.
What side are you on there?
Who'd you play at? You play as Zelda, I believe. From the gameplay,
No,
you're
I
playing
don't think
as the
so.
Zelda warriors.
Well, there's Zelda in it, but I don't think it's not the only character though.
Yeah, I'm saying you're playing as the Zelda side. The
Okay.
Link side, so not Zelda. Zelda's the princess. You're playing as the Link side of the war from all of the gameplay they've shown. So I don't think you want to play as Ganon's forces at all. So Breath of the Wild ran at 900p and 30 FPS when it was docked. This isn't even handheld. It was 900p 30 FPS when it was docked. And from what I've seen of the trailer, large-scale battles look very choppy. So if they're trying to run like this on the Breath of the Wild engine, I think it's going to have some big performance issues, but we'll have to see how that turns out, because the original Breath of the Wild released on the Wii U as well, and that didn't run that well. So I know people have emulated the Wii U version on Semu, the Wii U emulator, and got Breath of the Wild to run at like 4K and like 60 FPS and stuff like that. And that looked pretty good. So I think at this point, Nintendo might need to release like a Switch Pro or something if they want to keep making these sort of games. I would love to see like more just 1080p 60 FPS games from Nintendo. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
You know, we talked about Pikmin 3 was removed from the Wii U store when the Switch Digital Deluxe version released. It's now been re-added to the Wii U eShop randomly. So I have no idea what was going on there. Let's quickly talk about Ubisoft Ubisoft news, and then we'll wrap this up. Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake is coming out. This was announced at a Ubisoft Forward 2020, so January 21st, 2021. This is the first project from a AAA game from an Indian game development company. So there's been some criticism of the way this game looks. Some people said it looks like a PlayStation 3 game. I personally think the game looks fine. There was an interview with the Ubisoft India where they explained why Prince of Persia Remake looks the way it does. So they said it was challenging to build a linear time-bending environment inside Ubisoft's proprietary engine. If you don't know, Ubisoft has the Anvil engine, as it was designed for open-world games like Assassin's Creed. So it seems like a Frostbite. It seems like a Frostbite thing where they're like, "Hey, everyone use the same engine," sort of thing. They said the graphics are a stylistic choice and not because of budget or time. The game has been in development for 2 years already. We got some more details on the actual port itself. So it's going to be 4K. They're adding difficulty.
What's the issue with the graphics though?
People said it looked like a PS3 game. They said the graphics weren't very good, like especially the main characters, the like visual fidelity of faces and stuff look pretty bad. Yeah, I don't mind it that much. And we've had like new screenshots released that look like they have better visual fidelity than the actual trailer itself. So that's kind of confusing. So yeah, the PC port will have 4K difficulty options, which the original game did not have. Combat and movement has been fine-tuned as well as along with the game's camera. There's now the targeting system which will allow you to shift focus on one character from another. That's brand new. That sounds similar to the targeting system in like Assassin's Creed sort of thing.
A little bit, yeah.
Find some of the new screenshots do look a little bit better. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the complete edition, has been announced. If you don't know, the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was delisted for like a really long time off all storefronts. People are wondering like, hey, when is this game coming back? Because I know people really love Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, kind of like an arcade co-op brawler kind of game.
It was pretty good, yeah.
But the long delisted game is coming back for holiday 2020. So if you want to pick up the game, the complete edition, you will be able to pick it up in the holiday 2020. Some people are saying like, why would I buy this game if it could just get like taken down again like it did before, as it was removed from like all the storefronts and stuff.
I thought you still owned it when it got removed though.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think if you got like the console version, maybe you couldn't play it anymore.
Oh, okay.
Unless you did like something in particular.
Right. Okay.
there was like some issues with playing it on console unless you get like the physical edition, which they can't delist sort of thing. So you own the physical edition. That's one of the benefits of physical editions, is it can't be taken down because you own the actual disc. That's one of the things about owning games versus owning games when you have digital editions.
You should technically be owning the digital stuff, but it doesn't seem to actually happen in practice. But yeah.
They're making a Far Cry VR game, and you're saying, man, a Far Cry VR game, that sounds pretty cool. It's going to be exclusive to VR arcades. So you won't even be able to play this on your computer or your console. You'll have to go to a physical VR arcade in order to play this. And it seems like it's similar to like the Far Cry 3 kind of co-op mission sort of thing, maybe. From what I'm seeing of the trailer,
Right.
like they show Vaz in it as well. Especially with like COVID and stuff, like saying, hey, go to a physical arcade with tons of other people, just doesn't seem like the right time to do it, sort of thing. Like I watched the No Clip documentary with the guys who made the Witcher mobile game, and they asked them like, hey, is now a good time to be releasing a game that tells people to go outside? And they were saying like, well, you can still go outside and go to a walk in the park and still socially distance from people. So that's not going to be a problem, sort of thing. But yeah, we'll have to see. And then the
only issue with that statement is that you still might accidentally congregate people together.
I can't believe we're almost at 2.5 hours now. I thought I was being so quick. Okay. Immortals Phoenix, we got some gameplay for this. If you're going, what the hell is Immortal Phoenix? And you look at it and went, wait, I've seen this before. It's because you have. It's of Gods and Monsters. So this was originally announced, but I believe it's been renamed because some countries don't allow you to have like the word God in the title. So it's like, it seems like Ubisoft's kind of Breath of the Wild style game. It looks very similar to like a Breath of the Wild style game or like a Horizon Zero Dawn kind of game. Like it's that sort of game, but it does look, it's doing that sort of thing, but with like Greek mythology sort of thing. That does look really cool. So
yeah,
if you want to check out
it's very Breath of the Wild-ish.
If you want to check out that game, check out the full gameplay. I won't go fully into it here, but if you want to see more about that game, check out the trailer, and then we'll move on to our video game dev tweet this week. I chose. Did I do this one last week? I'm not sure if I actually changed this or not. Let me quickly check. I don't think I did. Okay. So this week I wanted to give a shout out to Lars Doucette, who is a video game developer, and he actually worked on Steam Labs for a long time. Like Steam hired him to work on these experiments they did on the Steam store. He's created his own website called GameDataCrunch.com, where he has a website with like loads of information on games that are on Steam and stuff. Version 0.2 is live. So now, with pagination of all our list of games, top games, new releases, category-specific views, sorts by all. Sort by also works as intended now. It now pulls the entire list, sorted by your method, that show what fits in your current page window. That's really cool. He did a vote on what feature he would like to be added, and I looked at the page and I was like, having my hands in front of my face, like, dark mode, add a dark mode. I can't see anything. The lights are blinding my eyes. Oh, that's great. My microphone stopped buzzing the second I'm about to end the podcast. Okay. Well, that's the end of the podcast. Fuck me, I guess. You can check us out and everything in between podcast on YouTube, twitch.tv/Scorn if you want to watch live on Twitch, and at AntScorn2000 if you want to keep updated on Twitter. If I remember, I usually don't, but that's in the podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.